Good morning and happy Saturday, folks. It is 2/22/25. Get ready for Golden VCR. Howdy, everybody. Welcome, early crowd. It's Saturday morning. How y'all feeling? Hey! Chasebook, right out of the gate. Howdy, buddy. 1,000 bits from Jace. Wait a minute, books can have birthdays? Anyway, I now have Volume 26 out. Let's celebrate some Flight of the Urubu. Congrats on publishing Volume 72. What a great way to wake up. Jamming with Maria Martinez. Flight of the Urubu. With a little Peter Gabriel in the mix. That lined up very well, actually. Someone with better DJing skills than me needs to make some Maria Martinez, Peter Gabriel mashup tracks. Clearly. It really is smooth. I guess it's a tenor, so it's not smooth, it's smooth. Gotta go up an octave. Smooth and alto? What's the difference between alto and tenor? Other than, you know, gender presentation. Really? Okay. I thought there was more like squish, like more overlap. I was a choir kid. I know SATB. I just didn't know how far apart the stabs were, really. I don't know. Some of those alto parts got pretty low, and some of those tenor parts got pretty high. I think they crossed the streams. But yeah, I guess a C in any of them.
Season.
And a happy 72nd birthday.
As people get older, they tend to become more concerned about safety.
Jace.
This has certainly been true with me. And since I have already had my 72nd birthday, I am far more concerned about safety than most people.
All right, thank you. Happy birthday, everybody. It's Saturday morning. I'm chilling. I hope you're chilling. I had an idea. You know how 14 months, oh my God. No, even better. I might make this a shorter stream today because I have some stuff going on at around noon. or a little after. But I have this crazy bullshit tape that's 2 hours long. You know how people trickle in on a Saturday morning? Like, it's not as... It takes a while for people to wake up and kind of crowd in. So I wanted to pick a tape where people will open up the stream, you know, groggily, and be like, what the fuck am I watching? That's The Return of the Ancient Spirits by Perry Stone Jr. We got the Ayatollah, we got 9/11, we got Gaddafi, we got Jerusalem. It might touch on some contentious subject matter. The Return of the Ancient Spirits. Ancient prince spirits that once ruled mighty empires, now bound in the abyss, will be released upon the earth in the near future. On this 2-hour video by Perry Stone, discover the location of Satan's command center and how principalities take dominion over cities and nations. Learn about the invisible side of prophecy. In this teaching, Perry exposes the chief spirit ruling over America and the spirits controlling large American cities. This is a powerful teaching that will open your understanding to the unseen war, a war that will climax at Christ's second coming. Evangelist Perry Stone Jr. is founder and president of the Voice of Evangelism Ministry in Cleveland, Tennessee. So this is going to be crazy shit, I think. Just remember, this is from, back in, hell, I don't know, actually. Well, after 2001, I think we'll have to say. The early 2000s. The Bush era. The good old days. Pretty soon, Perry Stone Jr. will be the, head of the Secretary of Health and Human Services or something. But let's just enjoy the craziness. And we'll nope out whenever we feel like we need to.
Welcome to this prophetic teaching, The Return of the Ancient Spirits by Perry Stone.
I do feel like some tomatoes are going to be flying.
Here is your host and teacher, Perry Stone.
I'm Perry Stone. Welcome today to a very powerful teaching on the return of the ancient spirits.
Oh my God, he's got the Ishtar
This
gate.
is what I'm going to show you before this tape is completed. I'm going to be showing you how that the spirits that ruled the ancient empires of biblical prophecy will once again rise in the very end of days and reunite the ancient territories of prophecy under one man who is called the Antichrist.
Jesus Christ, those shoulder pads.
We're going to be talking about the chief prince.
That jacket is way too fucking big.
The United States of America, and I believe it's going to be a great teaching, to say the least. Now, the foundational study begins in the book of Daniel, chapter 2, which was a dream that King Nebuchadnezzar had. King Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of an image which was made out of metal.
That collar is fucking...
a little replica here made out of styrofoam, and basically...
That collar is doing the hover hand thing on his neck.
There was a head of gold, chest and arms that were consisting of silver. Following that were thighs or hips that were made out of brass. And then it continues down to 2 legs of iron, and then it comes into 2 feet, which consist of 10 toes and a mixture of the iron and the clay. He didn't know what the dream meant, so he went to the prophet Daniel. When he went to the prophet Daniel, Daniel began to give the king the interpretation. And here's what it says. It says in Daniel chapter 2, beginning at verse 36, "This is the dream. We will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. Thou, O king, art the King of kings, for the God of heaven has given you a kingdom of power, strength, and glory. Whithersoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field, the fowls of heaven hath he given into your hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. You are the head of gold. After thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth."
The prophets of the Hebrew Bible sure love to interpret dreams for
iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all
powerful
things.
leaders.
And as iron that breaketh all these shall it be broke in pieces and bruised. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. But there shall be in it as the strength of the iron, for as much as you saw the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Whereas you saw the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
What is this bullshit?
In the days of these kings
I assume a King James Version fundamentalist,
and the kingdom shall
but he's not reading it that way.
It shall break in pieces and consume.
He's not saying sawest.
And it shall stand forever. Forasmuch as you saw the stone that was cut out of the mountain without hands, that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great God hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation is sure. Now, later on this tape, we're going to go into some more detail of explaining this particular vision, or dream that King Nebuchadnezzar had. But let me just give you a kind of a foundational study to begin with, and that is this, that there are four conflicts that are going to happen in the near future. A political, economic, spiritual, and global conflict. There will be a political conflict in which the nations of the earth are going to be shaken, according to Daniel chapter 7:24, and finally...
You mean the thing that's been happening continually for all of human history?
Which, according to Revelation 13:16-17, is going to produce a universal mark that you cannot buy or sell except you have this mark, the name of the beast, or the number of the beast. There will be a spiritual conflict in which the world is going to come together under one individual called a false prophet in Revelation 13:11, and he will organize a religion with the Antichrist, and if you're not a part of that religion, according to Scripture, you'll face death. Then there will be a global conflict in which judgments of God are going to be striking the earth while all these things are going on. Revelation chapter 8, 11, 18. So there's a political, economic, spiritual, and global conflict.
I learned about Revelation from 8th grade religion class in Catholic
we have
school.
to understand that there are spirits, both
So I was
angels
taught
and
that
demonic
it's
powers that are involved
allegory
in making these things come to
written
pass.
about
I call this the invisible side of prophecy.
persecution
Now,
of Christians
the two main
in
books
the
that
early
deal
church
with these
in
subjects
Rome.
are the book of Daniel in the Old Testament, the book of Revelation in the New
And
Testament.
it was written all...
If we look at the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation, we discover several
It had all these
parallels. First of all,
symbols because
both
it
of
was,
these prophets reveal a final
you know, kind of
empire
on the
that will
DL.
rule the earth,
They couldn't
called
talk
the beast.
overtly about the
Number
government
two, they
oppressing
both
them.
used the term beast to describe
And also
the
because
kingdoms
John
of
of
the last
Patmos
days.
really
Number
loved
three,
psychedelics.
They both see the rise of a final dictator that we now know. John coined this term as the Antichrist. They both see the return of a Messiah. They both saw the coming kingdom of the Messiah. And what is interesting is in Daniel 10 and also in Revelation 12, they both see demonic and angelic powers battling for the fulfillment of the prophecy.
Just tell us about the tank so we can
John's prophecy,
get out of here.
For example, we go to Revelation chapter 12, we discover that Satan is identified in Revelation chapter 12 as the great red dragon. And he's filling up the heavens because Ephesians 2:2 says he's the prince of the power of the air. This dragon has 7 heads.
Are you saying I have to keep watching
the 10
this?
horns are earthly kings.
Oh my God, I have to
Heads
share
not
something.
only represent the 7 major empires of biblical prophecy.
I have to
but
share-
out of those 7 heads of the dragon.
Speaking of 8th
are
grade
the
religion
7
class
main
and 7-headed
ancient
dragons.
spirits and ancient principalities that have ruled the empires
find
of
this.
the past, those empires of Bible prophecy. And we're going to really delve into this because what we want to show you is every major empire of prophecy has had a very strong evil demonic spirit called a principality that has controlled or dominated that particular empire. Now, if we continue to look at this, there have been and will be
All right, let me
7
share my
major empires of Bible prophecy. Let me list those for you. First of all,
Let me share my 8th grade religion
we read about
project.
the Egyptian empire from the book of
This
Genesis.
was one of the
through
first things
Exodus.
that I,
Then there was Assyria, that's found in the book of Judges. Then there was
spent way too
Babylon,
much time
that's
on
found in the book of Daniel, Jeremiah,
use my
and
digital
Ezekiel,
art
and some
skills.
of the minor prophets as well. Following
It's got
Babylon,
so
we
many
read Persia.
goddamn
This
Photoshop
happened in
filters.
the time of
This is
Daniel.
from
You read about that
September
book
of
of Daniel.
2002.
Following the Medes and the Persians
when
were
I
the
was
Grecians. Now, you don't read anything about
13
the
years
Grecians in
old.
the Bible because that's between the
I found
what they call the intertestament
these,
periods between the Old Testament book of Malachi and the Revelation.
I found somebody's like DeviantArt drawing of the 4 horsemen and then traced it in Flash and colored it in Photoshop and added, just put random Photoshop filters on it to texture it.
But that was an empire of biblical
We got like
prophecy
swirly stuff. We got that cool font.
Of course, following the Grecian Empire was the Roman Empire, and we know.
So,
about
you know,
that
there's the
because
4
that's
horsemen,
the
war
period.
and famine
then
and
there will come
whatever.
a 7th empire, which forms at the very last
And then we
days
got this,
that I simply call the new
the
Rome,
dragon
or
with
the
7 heads
Reformation
and
of
7
Rome.
diadems.
And
Again, someone else's DeviantArt art that I
connected
just
to the EU and to what is happening
traced
in the country of Europe
in
right now
Photoshop.
that we see taking place.
What's
So
happening in the
these are
country of Europe
7
right now?
Heads of the dragon, so to speak. These are the 7 main empires that have ruled biblical prophecy and will rule up the end of
Anyway,
days. Now, the
13-year-old
Antichrist
Alex made this and was
42
pretty
months,
proud of it.
Which, according to the Word
It's
of God, is the
real
8th
dopey in
final
hindsight,
kingdom.
but
we
I
won't
love
really
it.
discuss that on this teaching because we want to deal more with the spiritual aspect of what's
I'm
going
pretty
to
sure I
happen
got a
in the
good grade.
future. Now,
I didn't.
all the empires
I never
of biblical
understood any of the
prophecy have
material I
four
learned in
things
school, but
common.
I put
Number
way
one,
too
they
much
all
work into
dealt with
making
Israel
making
and the
things
Jewish
in
people.
Flash and Photoshop.
Number two, they
so I
all
got good
believed that
grades
there was
anyway.
a man that could be set up as almost like a god or a god. Number three, every empire of biblical prophecy had false religion involved with it. And number four, every empire represents a spiritual conflict. Now, I don't want to deal so much about how they all dealt with the nation of Israel, or how they thought a man or a woman could be set up as a god or goddess, or the false religions that every empire had. You know, Egypt worshipped the sun god, the Babylonians worshipped, Egyptians worshipped Ishtar, and on and on. We don't want to get into that. What I want to talk about,
man, the Canaanites worshipped Yahweh,
represents a spiritual
and then they
conflict.
said he was the only good one.
I want to give
and
you the
then
past empire.
we turned it into
What they did,
he's the only one, and everyone else is fake.
Egypt enslaved the Hebrew people. They represent a spirit of bondage. Assyria took the 10 tribes captive. They represent
This is so much fucking fanfic lore
destroyed the holy city and took the Jews captive.
for the world of the
represent
Old
spirit of
Testament era.
captivity. The Medo-Persians, if you check that out in the book of Esther, they had conspiracies against the Jew. They represent the spirit of
The
conspiracy.
Babylonians are represented by the red
On the
gem,
altar and defiled the temple in
which is
Jerusalem.
imbued
They
with the spirit of
represent the spirit
captivity.
of uncleanness. The Roman Empire oppressed the nation of Israel, and they absolutely represent the spirit of oppression, political and spiritual oppression. The new Roman Empire, which will be the seventh empire, will be the spirit of compromise. And so again, you have the spirit of bondage.
What is the new
division,
Roman
captivity,
Empire?
Conspiracy, uncleanness, oppression, and compromise. So
Is
in
that
other
just the
words,
Vatican?
in every one of these prophetic empires of the past, they were literal empires. They all had a satanic prince spirit ruling over them, and all of those empires brought to the world, or to the Jewish people back in their day, the very spirits that we talked about just a moment ago, the bondage, the captivity, the uncleanness, the oppression, the spirit of compromise, of course, will be the one that we
believe I had to
will
allow
battle at the last
bondage.
days, because you see it taking place now.
It's
you know,
in the Bible,
every
Automod.
religion is a way to heaven. You should not say Jesus is the only way. So in other words, compromise the truth, compromise the gospel, and this is what we see taking place.
Oh, he's saying that compromise is bad
Now, the 7 empires
because it leads to
that we
tolerating
talked
other
about
faiths.
in prophecy, again, which are Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Media, Persia, Greece, Rome, and
Jesus.
the New Rome. Some people call it the revived Rome. I call it the New Rome. These 7 empires are identified, from what I can tell in prophecy, as the heads of the dragon in the book of Revelation chapter 12. Now, in Revelation 12, if you read it, the dragon, the Greek word drakon, is the word for serpent in Greek, and it is a 7-headed snake or a 7-headed serpent. And here is what the Bible says: there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. Now again, these 7 heads do represent the 7 empires I have just named. However,
Something
I
I'm
believe the 7
noticing is
heads
this is,
represent the
man,
strongest demonic
does not
principalities,
stop
spirits
talking
in
for even
Satan's
a moment.
kingdom. Now, what is a principality? Well, Ephesians chapter 6 and 12, Colossians 1 and 16
Like, there's
through
no
15
pauses between
mentions
his
the word principality. Now, the Greek
phrases.
word principality, arche, means the beginning, corner, or magistrate. It means the head of something. A principality is a head spirit or a chief spirit.
I don't want to get controversial here, but it seems like
Now, we can read
when
about
you
these,
start from the premise that
particular
your
spirits,
sacred
for
text
example, in
has to be
Daniel chapter
interpreted
10,
as
where it talks about there was a prince of Persia,
literal
because there
descriptions
was a
of things
Persian
that
empire.
happened
There was a
literally.
prince of Grecia which would come.
Every
because
single
later
word.
After the Media Persians came the Grecian
Then you
Empire.
get into
these
this
Prince of Persia, Prince of Grecia were not human
situation where you
princes,
have to
but they
cook
were a
up all sorts of crazy
principality,
bullshit
Or in Hebrew, it's the word Tsar,
have it
which
make
means
sense.
a chief ruler. And so you have one person called Satan. He's got different names: the devil, Satan, Lucifer, the serpent. These are names for one person who is Satan, but under him, just like a military commander, under him are strong principality spirits. So he has.
Sorry, I just wanted to get a clip of this guy just so I can remember him. I love this part where he's like explaining it like a multi-level marketing scheme about all the Satan.
Grecia, which would come, because later after the Media Persians.
Oh wait, I may as well get him saying Prince of Persia.
Or a nation. Now we can read about these particular spirits, for example, in Daniel chapter 10, where it talks about there was a prince of Persia, because there was a Persian empire. There was a prince of Grecia which would come, because later after the Media Persians came the Grecian Empire. So these prince of Persia, prince of Grecia were not human princes, but they were a principality, or in Hebrew it's the word Tsar, which means a chief ruler. And so you have one person called Satan. He's got different names: the devil, Satan, Lucifer, the serpent. These are names for one person who is Satan, but under him, just like a military commander, under him, are strong principality
under
spirits.
Satan.
So he has 7 major prince spirits that are very strong, have great authority. In fact, they have such great authority that in Daniel chapter 10, one of the principalities,
They have such great authority that they can make you
wrestled the
masturbate.
angel of God in heaven.
You
for
have to be
21
vigilant
days, restrained him,
against
withheld
their
him from
demonic
heaven
incursions.
For 21 days. And so these are the heavenly battles and the heavenly wars that we talk about when we talk about about the invisible side of biblical prophecy. Now, what I want to share with you is this, that in one of the Greek Bibles, it tells us that principalities translates as the word governments. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against governments. So the point is that a principality spirit, the head of the dragon, so to speak, these are chief prince spirits that rule over governments and nations. Now look at China.
I have a question.
China persecutes Christians. Saudi Arabia persecutes Christians. You have great persecution taking place in Russia under communism. And so there's this spirit that of all the people it wants to attack, it doesn't attack the Buddhists.
Dude, this is post 9/11. What communism are you talking about?
It's always after Christians. Well, that ought to tell you that
if you're a KJV fundamentalist, if you believe that like the King James version of the Bible was produced in England in the 1500s or 1600s or whatever.
Now,
is the inerrant word of God the only
living today,
good translation?
Apostle Paul battle against these spirits. Here's what the Bible says
KJV.
in Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
If you're a
but against
KJV person,
principalities, against powers,
when you like
against
look
the
at
rulers
the
of darkness of
text
this world, against wicked spirits
to understand
in
the
high places.
translation,
Now, what
is like
clear
the
when you
only
read
valid
God, for
translation?
example,
Do you
like
have to
Daniel
just look at
chapter
how they
2,
translated it in the
there are
KJV, and
angelic
then
beings of
that's
God that are holy
the etymology
angels
of
that
that
are
word?
battling against the demonic spirits that are in the atmosphere, Ephesians chapter 2 and 2, Revelation chapter 12, Daniel chapter 10. Now let me just break this down for you because I think this is very interesting.
It's
There are
10:22.
two chief angels
How's everybody
mentioned in the
doing?
Bible. Michael, who was an archangel.
I have a
according to
question.
Jude verse 9,
Did
and
any
the
of you
angel
wake
Gabriel,
up
who
and
is
turn
mentioned
on the
book of
stream and
Daniel
come in the
also
middle of
Luke
this tape?
chapter 1. Now, Michael
If so, how are you
is the
feeling
prince
about
for the
it?
nation of
How did that
Israel,
make you
according to
feel?
Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. In fact, Michael is called a prince in Daniel 10:13, 10:21, and chapter 12, verse 1. And of course, in Daniel 12, Michael is the guardian of the entire nation of Israel. We read in the Bible, for example, that Michael the archangel wrestled for the body of Moses. We read that there was a battle that Michael was involved with over Babylon in the time of Daniel, which is in Daniel 10. In the atmosphere, they're struggling with these demonic powers that were in the air. We find out that
What hymn?
Michael
What
is
hymn do
also
we
going
sing?
to battle Satan and cast him out of heaven in the future.
Give me a hymn.
In the 12th chapter of the book of Revelation. So Michael is the protector of the Hebrew people. Gabriel, on the other hand, appears to be an angel that brings revelations to the Gentiles. Like Michael.
Some glad morning. Oh, I shouldn't turn the music on. When this life is over, I'll fly away to a land where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where diamond blindness ran. I'll fly away. This tape is 2 whole hours. Let's fast forward, holy Jesus. When I die, hallelujah, by and by. I'll regret that I watched this tape. All right, we're very far in now. Thank you for that hymn suggestion. It's still this.
Apollyon and Abaddon. Now, here's the point that I want to make. Since all the activity, and I began to think about this when she told me
He's
this,
getting to his
all the
point.
Activity of biblical prophecy, all the armies of the East are going to be marching this way, and they're going to be coming across the Euphrates River, which will be dried up. And of course, it may just dry up here between Bozrah and the Persian Gulf.
We're going to get to
march
geopolitics.
Here, then there's a spirit that the abyss is going to be open. Now, there's a huge trench in the Persian Gulf area. There's only so many of these trenches in different parts of the world, but that will open up. And I'm saying that I believe that the fact that that island has a similar name, and many times demonic spirits take on the same name of the territory where they're ruling from, that this is probably the territory because remember, the Euphrates dries up and 4 angels are loosed out of the Euphrates. Remember that? So all this activity, it happens right here. This is where the demonic activity is going to take place in the tribulation period at the time of the Antichrist. So I believe that the fact that this island has that name, that spirit may have also taken on that name. And John wrote about that and knew in the future the name of that spirit, what it was going to be and what was going to happen here. And
okay, I'm going to make a poll because I'm curious.
And I believe that it's possible because it's all
curious what you guys think.
The Bible says that when the pit
just,
is open,
we're not passing judgment. We're not
and it
trying to psychoanalyze.
well,
Just
when Saddam invaded Kuwait, And when they set the oil wells on fire,
Just
all that black
from a
smoke
human
darkened
perspective,
the
what do you think this
sun.
guy's deal
And
is?
So all this seems to be the territory.
I'm giving you
where
3 choices.
the 4 angels are bound.
Number
It's the
1,
territory where the ancient
he
spirits
knows
have
he's
ruled
full
from
of shit and just making all this up,
prophetic
and he does
empire.
it for
It's
financial
the
gain.
place that appears to be
Number
the place
2,
where the abyss
he's
will be open,
deeply
and where
immersed
this
in
wicked spirit will come out,
evangelical
and he'll organize
stuff,
all these armies through
and this
here
is just
to
kind
try
of
to
the
annihilate
rabbit hole
once
that
and
he's
for
fallen
all
down,
the
and he
Jewish
can't get out of
people
it,
and
and
the
he
nation of
sincerely
Israel. Of
believes
course,
it.
They will not succeed
Number 3,
when that time
he's
comes.
got a
Now,
touch
let's go
of
on a little
the
bit further.
mental
The Abaddon
illness.
spirit is released early in the
What do you
7
think?
tribulation period, along
What
with
is this
what
guy-
the Bible
what is this
calls
guy-
the
what
locust
vibe are you
of
getting?
Battle. These, I believe, will be demonic spirits which will control men. The final battle will be a battle of Babylon versus Jerusalem, because the Jews' first battle was against the land of Shinar. Now, in Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, I love to quote this. Here's what the Bible's saying. The thing which has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which
The
shall
ancient
be
city
done.
of
There's no
Babylon.
new thing under the sun. And I've often taught that if you want to know the prophetic future, you got to go into the past. I hope you've got our book, Unlocking Secrets in the Second Coming Scroll, because one of the final chapters deals with going from Genesis 11 back to Genesis 1, and it reveals the prophetic future that's recorded in the New Testament.
Oh, God, the fucking
That's a good
tank
example
prop.
of that which has been is that which shall be. Now, let me tell you what the Jewish people's very first battle was about and who they fought. This is interesting. The first battle was Abraham. Abraham was the first Jew. And this battle is recorded in Genesis 14,
All right, Green Day.
And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel.
You got it, man. Palate cleanser. As soon as y'all decide and let me know what it is, we will cut off. We will be done with Perry Stone. We're hitting the bricks.
King of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemember, king of Zeboim, and the king of...
God, my
Belial,
favorite thing is
Zoar.
Southern evangelical
All these were
pastors
joined
reading
together in the
biblical
Vale of
names,
Sadim,
reading obscure
which is the Salt Sea. Of course, that
ancient
would be the
Babylonian
Dead
names.
Sea. Now, Abraham was involved with
Cake?
this battle because he had to go...
We've
and
got
rescue
cake. All right,
Lot.
let's do it.
Here are the names of the kings and where they ruled from.
Do you want me to
Amraphel was the
keep
king of
this playing
Shinar.
and we'll
That
play
would be
both at
in
the same
area of
time?
Babylon, or today the area of Iraq.
Babylon.
Eriach was the king of Elasar, which would today be the land of Ur, which again was located in the land of Iraq. Today it would be the...
All right, that's
why
it for
didn't you
Return of the
say
Ancient
so?
Spirits. Thank you, everybody.
They've got cake! They've got cake!
Our poll result by a hair, with one more vote than knows he's full of shit, is that he's sincerely into this and deeply immersed in evangelical prophecy culture. But it sounds like pretty much everyone thinks all of the above.
Grab your dancing shoesies!
To the elephant Watusi.
Shake your train caboose.
Everybody, we got cake. Nothing could be sweeter.
The Watusi is a solo dance that was popular in the United States in the early 1960s. It was one of the most popular dance crazes of the 60s. Oh, the Watusi is a former name for the Tutsi people of Africa,
Joint is jumping.
There's so much elephant.
of, Hutus and Tutsis fame, of Rwandan genocide fame. The naming of American dance may have been inspired by a scene in the 1950 film King Solomon's Mines. The Batusi is a dance. Oh. The Batusi is a go-go dance invented for the Batman TV show. It's a pun.
Hey, thanks for letting us have my party here.
Batusi.
Oh, you're welcome, old chap. It turned into quite a
I've learned
party
so
after
much.
all. That cake was absolutely inspiring. I don't suppose I could get the recipe for my wife.
Quite right.
Well, all my
Yeah, one of my
recipes
friends
are
in
back
middle
home
school
in
was
my kitchen.
from Rwanda.
But if you could help us find our way back home, I could
His
give it
family
to you
immigrated,
then.
and then they
What a smashing idea! Are
ended
you
up
ready
moving
to,
to
go then, chaps?
Toronto,
I'm ready.
Ontario.
Two.
All set. Wait, where's Patches?
I'm right here.
Sorry,
I
not
figured
Toronto.
We should wrap up my present before we go.
London,
One
Ontario.
of these pachyderms got
Which
a
I think
whiff
is
of
much
this
worse.
sneaker bush. We'd have spent the rest of my birthday on the moon.
Oh, yes, Haley. Sorry, I didn't feed the dog. Sorry, I've been scrambling. It would be most appreciated by both me and the dog if you could feed her. I was so enraptured by Perry Stone's Biblical Prophecy 9/11 tape that I forgot to feed the dog. She always bothers you. She doesn't bother me. Like, she'll sit down here with me for hours after her dinner time. And then when she can't bear the hunger anymore, she'll go up and bother Haley on the other side of the house instead of, like, whining to me. Hey. Morning, Chaz. Chaz, you missed, deliberately or not, I don't know, Return of the Ancient Spirits by Perry Stone Jr. It's biblical prophecy about the end times and global conflict. It's really great. We learned about Satan. Here, let me just give you a clip, just a taste. You know, just so you know what you missed. That goes for everybody.
Or a nation. Now we can read about these particular spirits, for example, in Daniel chapter 10, where it talks about there was a prince of Persia because there was a Persian empire. There was a prince of Grecia which would come because later after the Medo-Persians came the Grecian Empire. So these prince of Persia, prince of Grecia were not human princes, but they were a principality, or in Hebrew it's the word sar, which means a chief ruler. And so you have one person called Satan. He's got different names: the devil, Satan, Lucifer, the serpent. These are names for one person who is Satan, but under him, just like a military commander, under him are strong principality spirits. So he has 7 major prince spirits that are very strong.
All right, so now it's time. Yeah, we missed him talking overtly about 9/11. That's a shame. It's time for the Hill Holliday Founders Award celebration. Yeah, I was really smitten by the Satan org chart. The Prince of Persia is under Satan, and then his direct reports. All right. There's very little information on this tape, but it looks really neat. It was sent in by West Coast Deb. It is the BNSF, the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railways Hill Holliday Founders Award celebration. It looks like some cool ephemera. This is from April 24th, 1997. Let's check it out. I hope it's going to be a bunch of old people in a banquet hall. Nothing could please me more. I will. Oh my God, production value. Did they hire Ken Burns?
They both laid rail westward just as fast as...
I'm sorry, there's a song about rail workers. Strap in, folks.
They both laid rail westward just as fast as they could go. Cyrus through the desert and James Hill through the snow. Each man had a vision. They were legends in their day. Now their dreams have come together in the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. From Seattle to Chicago, from the Cascades to Cajon, from the path they call Marias to the one they call Raton. She's got a clear block near Burlington Northern and Santa Fe.
Deb, I want to cry. This is so beautiful.
The Hill Holiday Founders Award
There's
celebration.
an original song for this rail line. God damn, I love it.
The Rail Changeout Project Team.
Okay, so I guess this was screened at the award ceremony to celebrate the achievements of the rail employees. I love it.
Fatigue, problems happen like that. And in each place on the railroad, our teams did it differently.
Subsequently, the management brought together a team of employees. We assembled a team of different backgrounds, different levels of experience, and they challenged us to develop a process plan to change out the rails in a safe and efficient manner.
We brought into the group over 240 years of railroad experience, and we combined all that experience.
As of, I just Googled it, BNSF Railway has collective bargaining agreements with several unions, including the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and SMART. Hell yeah! That's recent news too, like only past couple years.
Many of the old ways are
they have
in
reached
the
tentative
new
labor
process.
agreements
Now it's standardized
recently.
and now a plan and a blueprint can be followed, and it's the safest way to go.
Oh, there'll be a great benefit to internal as well as external customers. Our internal customers, being our employees and everybody working around us, will have a safer environment, a safer way of doing things. Ultimately, our external customers will benefit from better service, less train delays, better service.
So
I think we won the award because of the final product. The final product is something that I am very proud to be a part of. It's something that's going to be put out across the system, and I'm glad to have a hand in that. When I see that going out like it's implemented, it's a tremendous feeling to be a part of something that big.
Fewer delays for the freight trains so that they can more efficiently delay the passenger trains that operate on their lines.
I'm honored by what the team had done. When something comes together like this did, you can look and see what a difference you made.
Hooray, Amtrak.
It's really a sense of accomplishment.
I'm very proud of any time that we're able to institute a process for better safety. I feel very strongly about what I do for a living. I'm being the manager of
Good luck, Bella. I tried myself at one point. It didn't work.
I focus on.
But I admire your bravery of inviting everyone to use this opportunity of a rail-related tape to spam rail meet.
Everything that we set out to do.
I feel like they forgot to composite something in the back of that blue screen shot.
The Slip, Trip, and Fall Safety Focus Team.
Fuck yes, safety. Safety for rail workers. I love it.
The Slip, Trip, and Fall Safety Focus Team's main objective is to address and to reduce the #1 cause of injuries within our industry, and that is slips, trips, and falls.
We decided as a team right then and there that alertness and awareness and attitude.
Slips, trips, and falls. It's a great team name.
Correcting the slip,
it dances trippingly on the tongue.
We decided to conduct blitzes every other month around the system, taking the lowest division in the safety ratings as our target. We saturated those divisions with 4 or 5 sub-teams of people doing blitzes, awareness blitzes, alertness blitzes, and talking to people one-on-one about the issue of slip, trips, and falls.
When I'm out in the field on an audit, or if I'm back home on
That's
the
a great
job,
mustache mullet combo.
You know, get the guys to, not to throw their trash out, to pick up stuff that's lying in the walkway, just to, if you do it and maybe somebody will see you doing it, that they'll do it and they'll just work on down.
Our company's better off and our customers are better off by having not only a safer workplace, but a cleaner workplace. It's not only makes it safer, having good housekeeping policy in effect, but it makes it a morale issue. I know a lot of people feel better about coming to a neat and clean workplace. It has an effect on the way they do their work. Sometimes it might make them work more efficiently. So the customer benefits from that.
The 1996 goal for the Slip, Trip, and Fall Safety Focus Team was to reduce the number of incidents and injuries from a high of 237 in 1995 to less than 176 in 1996. That was a 25% reduction. In reality, in 1996, slips, trips, and falls were reduced to 144 for a 39% reduction. The slip, trip, and fall safety focus.
The best way to
team
convey
total
stats
responsibility
is
for
to
this
just
reduction.
have a
It
shot
was
of a
the
man
employees of the
telling you the
Burlington Northern
numbers.
Santa Fe that accomplished this.
I feel real good about what we accomplished because we were able to go out across the system and meet a lot of folks and just explain to them what we were trying to do, and we had a lot of people buy into that.
I think we won the award because the fact that two teams from two separate railroads, the Burlington Northern and the Santa Fe, could get together and work under the new heading of a BNSF railroad and get certain things accomplished.
The award has special meaning to me because of the connection between James J. Hill and Cyrus K. Holliday. I'm a fourth generation former Great Northern employee, and my son is fifth generation, and it means a tremendous amount to me to win an award that has James J. Hill's name attached to it.
Hooray, railroad barons.
The Crew Fatigue Countermeasures Team.
These are some great teams. I love the insight we're getting into the deep particulars of rail line operation.
Of fatigue, and the more we got jawboning about the issue, the more we realized that it's a multifaceted problem, and it takes input from just about every level of this organization to understand and formulate some solutions.
We initially addressed the fatigue problem by writing a lot of letters to upper management, and they recognized a lot of the fatigue concerns that we have as real issues, and we developed a group of people, a team if you may, to come together and work in cooperation
a team, if you will,
the company and with the labor organizations to address many of these fatigue issues and to address some countermeasure that we could hopefully instill into the pilot program to rectify a lot of the fatigue problems that we are having.
Solutions are not always easy, and it takes a team effort and a lot of different people to work with. We've worked with NASA Ames. They've helped us develop a lifestyle fatigue countermeasures program. We really feel this is the foundation to our fatigue efforts here, and that as we can bring the awareness up and both the men and the management, that we can work together to eliminate some of the concerns that we do have.
We formulate a strategy that will address these concerns. The benefits will flow to BN's customers, both internal and external. Obviously, the internal people, the people that run the trains, the people that work in the yards, the people that manage the operation, will all benefit from that. I think we're all going to have a better lifestyle. I think our quality of life is going to improve in general. Our customers will benefit.
It's true. Menstrual cycles
be able to deliver their products
can melt steel beams
more efficiently with less damage to lading. And I think the general public also benefits because we reduce the likelihood that fatigue will contribute to accidents.
I am proud to be a member of this group, and yet it's kind of fun to pause here and focus on some of the accomplishments we've had.
This is a great kind of snapshot of business lingo in 1994.
Our efforts.
Because it's people just talking off the cuff.
I like to think about this as Fatigue 101 this year.
But in a very
Fatigue
projecting
102, and it's an ongoing
business
process.
way.
Receiving this award, to me, allows everyone to recognize that the BNSF is
this guy chooses his words very
this
carefully.
fatigue effort, and it makes a statement that we want to go forward and eliminate fatigue from the industry, and I feel very fortunate to be involved with this group of people.
The Thompsons Bridge Renewal Project Team.
We were brought out here to build a new bridge over the Brazos River. We had a unique project in the sense that we were doing a roll-in, roll-out.
This man sounds so pained.
Erect the new bridge without interfering with traffic, and then within a series of 3 days' time, remove the old structure and roll our new structure into place, keep the trains moving.
Well, we were presented with the problem.
Not just keep the trains moving, keep the trains moving.
Decided this was
Fucking
the
love
most
it, man.
economical.
These guys are great.
Solution to the problem, and then the
real rail folks. You know they are.
Concept, and then we refined it to the plan that grew into the project you see here. We'd never really tried a project of this magnitude before. Specific obstacles included the unpredictable nature of the Brazos
What do you think
River.
this was at the awards ceremony
Stages in a relative
for the railroad
short period of
employees? What do you think they were eating?
We looked at it as one of the greatest challenges we would face.
Maybe there's a news article about it.
Possibility of sudden changes.
They're eating rail meat?
Height of the water surface here.
We worked as hard and as safe as we could trying to put the bridge together, and once we got started, it's just a question if the rain would let up, and then there were times that we worked in the rain and completed.
How did they build that? Yeah, that is a great,
having it finished and running.
Serendipity.
In comparison to the old.
Thank you for the cheer, Will.
Obviously, we can
I'll cue that up for after
train
this tape.
traffic through here at district speed a lot faster than what they used to run here. Eliminate a slow order, permanent slow order that they had here that slowed train traffic coming and going. The other thing too, we'll be able to accommodate higher and wider loads, whatever the customer has through this particular area. Safety-wise, to some of our customers, meaning the trainmen, say if a train stopped during the night and they had to get off their train and walk it for whatever reason, now they have walkways on the inside of the bridge. A lot safer for them to walk back and forth alongside the bridge.
His name is written on the front of his hard hat, and it looks so fucking stylish.
Other projects in
I don't know if that's intentional.
We built
It's great graphic design on the writing his own name on his helmet.
Using the track windows that we had for this project at the same time, and so there's a lot of people involved in what went on out here, and yeah, the whole unit was great. They very cooperative and hardworking. A lot of ownership. They've done a real good job for us.
The award means something tangible. I've got
check that
something
out.
that I can hang on my wall or put on my desk that'll be passed down to my kids, my children. Something else I can brag about besides bragging about the men that I work with and the company that I work for. I've got something and pictures to say, you know, I built this. When I retire from the Burlington Northern Santa Fe, I might be able to come down the river here while I'm fishing and point out to that bridge and say, you know that bridge there? I had a hand in building that bridge.
Nothing can top that song, I think, but this I'm still enjoying
Motors
this
Oklahoma
so
City
much.
plant team.
The team was actually created to address all of the problems in dealing with a customer of the magnitude of General Motors, both problems from the inbound parts side, the production of the vehicle, as well as the distribution of finished vehicles. So there's a whole host of issues that come up on a day-to-day basis, and this team was put together to address all of those.
What we do is we have a monthly agenda, and we try to get what everybody would like to talk about, and most of the times those are problems that affect the 3 different companies that meet to resolve problems, and a lot of times we don't realize that we're causing each other a problem because we don't fully, completely understand what each other does or the system it has to be done in. So we all have learned a lot about each other's business through this, working through these problems.
One of the things we addressed this year was we had a major changeover in the car that we make, and we used this meeting to share
It looks very windy.
about the major changeover that we had. We had a month
It is Oklahoma.
an acceleration period, so we were able to share information with both the BNSF and Cooper Transport because this greatly affected their business.
So they had designed a program of retooling their plant.
Jim Titsworth! Sorry.
Very aggressive in the time that they allowed for the plant to be torn apart, cleaned out.
Sorry,
and
that just came out of me. Jim
So they
Titsworth
hit
is
us
so
with
good.
A 10-day period where they had to have all the demolition done, the scrap out of the way, so that they could come in and get their plant back up and running.
Model changeover here from the old Cutlass to the Malibu was one of the fastest model changeovers in General Motors history. They did a lot of different things from a production standpoint to prepare for it, and we just played a role in that, in helping them destroy the old assembly line and get all of the gondolas of scrap out of town on a timely basis, and also making sure that when the vehicles are loaded and transported and unloaded, there's no damage occurring to them, so that they can get this car to market fast, because it has been named the Motor Trend Car of the Year, and we want to make sure we get it in the hands of the customer.
The 1997 Chevy Malibu.
Needs and expectations, and they,
oh, I misread. This is 97, not 94.
We're furnishing equipment to load the outbound loaded autos on town or on the other side of the street, bringing them in on a timely basis.
I feel like the Malibu is the Chevy equivalent of a Ford Taurus.
Being built, as well as a quality vehicle being shipped to the customers out in the field.
Being a member of a winning team means a lot to me personally, as well as everybody involved.
Jerry.
Not only for those currently in position on the committee, but all those that have been on there before and have gone on, put a lot of hard work into making General Motors team the quality team in the industry.
The San Diego Infrastructure Project Team.
Oh boy, I can see if I recognize any of these places that they show.
American Honda had made a decision to come to the West Coast with their Japan product and not go to the East Coast any longer.
It seems like they're mostly filming in rail yards.
That would handle a high volume of automobiles and have the ability to rail those automobiles to the East Coast.
Building an auto
Look at all this
is not new
domestic
to or any railroad.
auto
The
manufacturing.
method this one was constructed is new. The solution we derived through working with the Port of San Diego and the various agencies is unique to this situation.
There was a strategic plan created by the entire group, and then we went out individually and implemented our particular task. Well, as one of the participants as a service provider, we got to deal with the port, the Burlington Northern Santa Fe, and our various automobile customers in the development of this process for the land bridge at San Diego.
Frankly, we had to do a lot of things on a short.
Oh yeah, there's the Coronado Bridge.
Do a lot of stuff on a 6-month basis. We had to get easements from port tenants like Dixie and CityLine and also Weyerhaeuser, but we worked through it and had to move very quickly because Honda needed to get into the facility.
The cars that you see in this facility come from around the world. They come over the seas, and so this has got global ramifications, and the improvements that we're making here will allow global transportation to become better. Our customers benefit
we've
from
seen both
rail infrastructure that allows us to
domestic cars and
efficiently
imported cars
serve this area. The Port of San Diego benefits because it becomes one of the premier rail marine terminals on the West Coast.
Recognition with an award of this type, I think, means something very special to people, and I think it's something you can't replace with anything else. You stand up to a group of people and say, you guys did a great job, you brought this in on time, it's going to benefit the railroad, it's going to benefit the customers. Thanks a lot for your efforts. There's just nothing like it.
Stellar background music, man.
The Grain Trackage Rights Team.
Grain? What are grain trackage rights? I need to know.
Our team came
the break
together
of
to
June.
capitalize on the opportunity to market grain over the UPSP trackage rights.
Permissions that allow a railroad to use another railroad's tracks to transport grain. Okay.
Well, the process that we went through was marketing, immediately started selling the trackage rights corridor. And 2 days after we were granted our rights, we moved our first train towards Corpus. It took a tremendous amount of coordination with the marketing side of the UP Railroad at Omaha, our billing, our customer relations people for Mexico to pull this thing off and get the grain moving.
The tough part was the operations end of it, to coordinate between us and the UP and the Tex-Mex to make sure that the business went down there in a seamless fashion.
Well, customers prior to having access to Mexico were limited from the old BNSF system. With the new opportunity into Mexico, we expanded their market so that they could purchase more grain, therefore sell more grain, which gave the BN an opportunity to haul more grain.
For our Mexican customers, they
this
now
was
have
the
access to the
Clinton
largest
era.
and most
This
diverse
was,
North American railway for grain. And
a few
for the
years after
BNSF,
NAFTA.
This is going to help us to continue to grow our profitable grain business and continue to meet the expectations of our shareholders and of our customers.
I believe we won the award for the increased volume into Mexico and the ability to do it for our customers efficiently. Well, our team accomplished quite a bit. We increased our business by 60% in New Mexico in less than 3.5 months' time in 1996.
Well, we feel proud because we accomplished the goal we had set out to do, and we accomplished in a relatively quick manner.
This
on a new
sweeping
railroad
music is great.
Basically, it was a new railroad we never had before.
I'm very excited about this award. It means I've been recognized as part of a team that stepped up to the plate and accessed some very important business for the BNSF. Business we expect to grow at 5 to 10% a year.
The Stampede Pass Line Project.
The Stampede Pass project was necessary to improve the rail capacity in the Pacific Northwest. Our customers needed more reliable and more timely service in the Pacific Northwest.
I really like this music. That just made me feel like I was playing Fire Emblem and the turn changed.
Piece of railroad track,
and it was my time to triumphantly sweep in and
10 years,
win the mission.
Significant rehab work that needed to be done. There was logistics problems of getting from one point to the other. Numerous weather factors played a role in a 6-month project of this time span.
The most critical process in this project was the initial planning and engineering that went on for nearly a year ahead of the actual start of the project. There was an enormous coordination effort between multiple work groups and contractors. We had a very short time window, and we had to focus on our communication and our team building to pull this off and have the tracks open for service by the end of 1996.
As far as whether we did anything different as a team on this project than other projects have done in the past, I don't believe we did anything extremely different. To the contrary, I think we did the same thing that most successful teams do. We communicated openly, and we stayed committed to the project, working it day by day with a deadline and a goal in mind, but still taking it a day at a time.
Burlington Northern Santa Fe's rail customers benefited from this project by our increased rail capacity and our ability to have alternate routes into the Pacific Northwest, which was well demonstrated this winter when the Stevens Pass route was closed down for a period of time on account of flooding and snow avalanche conditions. During most of this time, we were able to keep Stampede Pass open and keep the grain trains moving through.
I'm extremely proud of it. I feel real proud to be part of a project that's linking the past with hopefully the future of this railroad.
They love this shot so much. They definitely were going to composite something in, but then the blue cast was too much for their blue screening. Oh my God. Oh, let me make sure I start this and get the complete song.
If James J. Hill and Cyrus were sitting here today, they'd take a look around, and here is what they'd say. A railroad lives on customers and rock-bound right-of-way, but our dreams live through the people of the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. From Seattle to Chicago, from the Cascades to Cajon, from the pass they call Marias to the one they call Raton. She's got a clear block from the Gulf through Texas to LA. She's the finest line this land has
I really do. This is such a ballad.
From Seattle to Chicago, from the Cascades to Cajon, from the pass they call Marias to the one they call Raton. Come on and stand up and wave to her and help her on her way. She's the finest line this land has seen, the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe.
All right, I'm burning too much fuel. I need this for lighting scented candles in the bath. Thank you, Haley. God damn. Oh my God, I'm speechless. This is absolutely Hall of Fame material in my book. Wow. 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 This tape. The Hill Holiday Founders Award celebration. Sent in by West Coast Deb. Give it up for Deb. This was a great one. Thank you, Deb. Incredible. All right. We learned a lot. We learned a lot, including we learned about the construction of a bridge. I will get the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe song into the rotation. I mean, it's now fair game if you want to hear it again in future streams.
I just want to know, how do they build that building so high? How do they build that bridge so wide? How do they build that tunnel below and launch a space shuttle in the sky? In the sky! When all these questions come over me, Poppy tries to tell me why. How do they build that building so high? How do they build that bridge so wide? How do they build that tunnel below and launch a space shuttle in the sky? In the sky! How do they build that?
Whew. Thank you again, Will. All right. Who is ready for home decorating tips from the Toronto television market from 1992? Oh, I have the dates swapped on these. I'll fix that. This is not from 98. This is from 92. The Best of Home Day. Toronto, the city in Canada, not Toronto, the fictional place in our Dungeons & Dragons campaign that Haley invented of whole cloth. Haley, I think you missed the last home day, so if you're interested in getting some great crafting and decorating tips from 1992, you got another chance here. This is CityLine, the Best of Home Day with Marilyn, Denis. CityLine's designers share 14... CityLine's designers, look at them. Look at these ladies from 1992. Share 14 easy and inexpensive decorating projects, instructions included. Striping with glaze, faux floor, spare room makeover, 4-poster bed, designer table, French door drapes, turban valance, toga swag, sconce curtain, fabric walls, bolster cushion, garden trellis headboard, art deco mirror, and splatter painted stairs. I hope we get some gold leaf collage in this one. All right, let's do it. This is CityLine, the Best of Home Day, Volume 1 from 1992. Contrary to what the title says here. Oh, please, tape. Oh, please. I really want sponging. There's got to be sponging.
City TV's CityLine presents the best of Home Day, your personal guide to home decoration.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Denis. You know, I've learned a lot from Home Days
Denis.
right here on CityLine. We've got some great decorating projects for you. We've put together the most popular ones, courtesy of Anita Aiello, Mary Dodson, and Leslie Harrington. And the first of the many projects you're about to see on this video is from Leslie Harrington. It's striping with glaze.
Whatever you want, Haley.
What? Do it.
God, I love this.
A little off balance today. Now, we looked at your apartment, which is beautiful, and it's lovely, and we can't wait to see the rest of the place. But
the early
what I
90s.
want to say is that the wall treatment that you used in your dining room, it's a dining room, living room, actually,
Yeah, I
isn't
did
it?
the whole area.
Yeah, was what we're going to show right now. This was not wallpaper.
No, this is the answer to that really nice, luxurious tone-on-tone striped wallpaper that we all love.
Yeah. Which is very expensive.
Which is, yeah, I mean, it can go, you can find it for maybe $10 a roll, but it can be $50 a roll as well.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, when you find it, you don't find the color you want.
Exactly.
Right, because the color is very important. So this was my answer, 1, to the budget side of it, and 2, to finding the color I needed to match the fabric in my fabric.
Oh yeah, putting it all together. Sure.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very easy. It's just that you have to do a lot of
folks,
measuring.
I'm going to
before you
vibe
do
for
it,
this
but
one
once
with you in
do
chat.
that-
Actually, it's a little bit of measuring. The first thing is to get the first
Please
stripe
enjoy.
straight. It's
Okay.
like hanging
CityLine,
wallpaper. And
the
usually
best of Home
start
Day
out of a
from
corner.
1992.
And this is where you want to make sure you start right out of a corner.
Now, can I make mention of something that you taught me about painting? Start, when you walk into a room, look at the least likely corner that you would look at.
Right, except for, in this technique, you want to start, there's always an exception to the rule, right?
Except for?
This one, you want to start in the corner that you do see when you walk in the room, so you make sure you get the stripes going perfectly out of the corner instead of wrapping around the corner.
Don't ever listen to what I say on
Yeah.
because I'm always
I really try though. But that way you get a flat stripe here and you
Sure.
get a shiny stripe going down that wall.
Oh, I
okay?
see what you're saying.
So what you want to do
Yeah.
is, I use this Easy Mask. It's a low tack tape and it comes a number of different widths, but I use 3 inches. And you start by just simply placing your tape down that first corner, but make sure it's straight first.
Yeah.
And do that by taking a level. It's a lot easier than a plumb line. And just simply mark maybe 2 or 3 tick marks down the wall so you can line your tape up edge against that.
All right.
Okay? Then once you do that, usually what I do is take another little piece of tape. Just rip a piece off of here.
Sure.
We can get rid of the level.
Don't worry, we've got instructions for you. We're just going to show you how to do it first.
And then to measure off how wide your stripe is going to be, I use this little piece of paper, and I'll show you that in a second.
Okay.
And then we just paint a shiny varnish, a clear coat, in between the pieces of paper.
That's all there is to it.
That's all there is to
So
it.
did you? I know you did this by yourself.
Yeah.
Does it not help though if you have somebody else to do
This is an easy one-person project.
Is it?
It's
All right.
very easy.
Okay.
So at the end of the wall here, I'll just finish putting up the last piece. So I take my little piece of paper to measure out my width. And by the way, you don't have to make your stripes even. You could make it a fat, skinny, fat, skinny, fat, skinny. Just always make them the same.
Right.
Right.
All right.
And then just put your ticks down the wall. And then hand me my roll of tape.
Hand your roll of tape, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Line that up with your ticks.
On top or right beside?
Beside the ticks.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go right over the switches and everything.
Yeah. By the way, you know how you glazed over my switches in my living room?
Right.
I had to call in an electrician. They were stuck.
Aww. Didn't you bang them?
I did. I did.
Okay. Now this is really low tack tape. Usually what I do is I put probably enough tape on to do 3 or 4 stripes at a time. And then I reposition my tape, so I'm reusing, and that way you don't have to buy as much tape. And then you simply take your varnish, and this is a latex clear coating.
Yeah.
So it's nice and easy to work with. It's not like an oil varnish, and it won't yellow like an oil varnish.
What kind of a brush do you use on that?
Just a synthetic bristle brush.
Synthetic bristle,
not a pure bristle. Just dip it in,
All right.
and you'll notice that it's white in the can. It's kind of like a milky color. It dries clear, okay? So don't let that fool you. And then just simply paint very quickly. You can roll, take a little 3-inch roller, roll in between the paper stripes.
Never need. And so simple.
Yeah. And then when it dries, you'll get that tone-on-tone look. If you want, you can take off those pieces of tape up there.
All right.
I know you like removing the tape.
I do too. I do.
See?
Is that simple? Who's going to do that this weekend?
Yeah.
Admit it. You are. You are.
Oh, I'll tell you. Okay, watch this. It'll cost you about $15 to do a living room, dining room combination. Now how many people are going to do it?
Are you doing it? Are you going to do it? Hey, you know, that'll look really good in your white on white.
Yeah.
Your white on white room. Huh?
White
Look
on
what you're
white.
going to do this weekend. You're excited, aren't you? All right.
White on white would look fantastic.
Wonderful.
And the nice thing, one thing that you might want to be aware of, is the darker the color that you do this on, the more pronounced the stripes will be.
True.
And also the softer the lighting is in the room, the more pronounced they become. So it's a really nice treatment if you want to see maybe not too much detail in the daytime, but say at nighttime when you turn the lights down low or you have soft mood lighting, it really becomes more dramatic.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really pretty finish.
It's very easy. Now, how long does it take to dry?
This will dry in probably about 30 minutes. So, I mean, it's really fast and easy.
Perfect. It's
and you can just do, you know, half the room if you want one day and the other half another day.
But I think you'll be so excited about it, you'll just want to do it all.
Sure.
I would. Oh, come on, let's just do every room of the house and see what happens.
One more stripe, okay?
Okay, one more stripe. Can I take this off?
Yep.
You done? Okay.
Do, 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 do.
Isn't that something? Oh, isn't that something? And you just think this is great.
Take off that one more right there.
Okay, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
So
Do you
that's
love this? I love this.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? We're going to do the floor that you have in your kitchen, actually.
Right, yeah. It's the same technique that we've done
This
before.
is
What
faux
we
floor.
Put down our grout lines. So that we
Oh, they're putting down their
and
grout
always
lines.
Remember, your grout's going to be the
Grout.
background color of your floor.
That's right. Now, this tape
Oh,
that you
Toronto.
buy, which
Right.
you
Love
use
you.
all the time, you probably have stock in it by now.
Yeah, I should.
Where do you get this?
Art supply store.
All right.
I usually go to Curry's in town, but what it is, it's called LetraLine, and it's an 1/8 of an inch thick, and it's not too expensive. It's about $4 or $5 for this roll.
Okay.
So what you do is you just draw your pencil lines on the floor, and I used a 2x2 grid.
Stay right there. Don't move.
Okay.
Okay.
And then what you want to do is tape the tape to one side of the pencil line, and that's very important. I learned the hard way when I did my bedroom.
So not on the pencil line,
Right.
but on one side of the pencil line,
Right.
and always stay on that side.
Exactly. So when you paint over the pencil line. What I did in my bedroom is I did it on top of the pencil line, and then when I removed the tape, I had to go and rub out all the pencil lines around the room. So learn from my mistakes.
Okay.
So we've taped off most of the board. I'll just tape off the last few lines.
Okay.
And then it's as easy as any glazing technique we've done. So we've mixed up our glaze using the 5-to-1 ratio.
5-to-1. 5 glaze, 1 color.
Right, exactly. And then just pour it in a pan and use a little 3-inch roller. And what you're going to do is glaze each square one at a time. The nice thing about this is if you do sort of like I've done, glaze sort of all those squares in this direction, and we'll show you how to do that, you can still walk in the room because you can sort of tiptoe on those squares that haven't been painted while these ones are wet.
Right.
And then the next day you can come back and do these ones.
Yeah.
So just
And it's okay if you go, hey, this is the first time it's okay to color out
over the lines. Yeah. And
You
so
know?
you just roll your glaze on.
All right.
And just do it one square at a time. It's a really nice job because you can stop and start this project anywhere you want. You know, if
Well,
you have
why
to
don't
go
I do
pick
that?
the kids up.
Can we do that?
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
sure.
I'll do that. We'll change sides here. I can do this for him.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to take a plain old plastic drop sheet and we're going to accordion pleat it. Keep going, Marilyn.
I'm
Keep
going.
We're going to accordion pleat it in our hands.
Okay.
And this is what's going to give us the directional lines of the slate. Now, to make it really look realistic, what we want to make sure we do is that we change the direction on the tile. So one way it'll go this way, and the other way it'll go this way.
This way. Okay, that's how you did that. All right.
So I did all the this way ones, so now we'll
You
come
do the
over
other
there
way.
and do the other way.
All right.
So that's great.
When you did when you did this, did you start in the center and then work your way out? I mean, I know
Yeah.
that you can leave every other one
To
open.
do the pattern, what I did is because I have a galley kitchen, I made sure that the diamonds sort of ran down the middle of the kitchen.
All right.
So it looked more interesting. The other thing is make sure that you don't do the pattern straight on in the room, that you do it on an angle, because one, they won't be able to tell if your lines are crooked, and two, you won't be able to tell if your room isn't square if you do it on a diagonal. And it also makes the room look larger.
Did you, when you were doing this, did you always think to yourself, okay, how am I going to do this? Did you ever make a mistake and did you start all over again with this glazing, or did you really?
I made a mistake, but I moved the fridge on top of it.
That's a good idea. Do it over the, where
start in the areas where the cupboards are, or the fridge, or stuff like that.
That's a great idea.
So anyways, you just lay this plastic on, and you want to lay it on sort of in a linear line look. Yeah. And then you just do the smooshing. Oops. Back
you
and
really
forth this
smush.
way.
Okay. All right.
And then just put
That's what you can do with all those old dry cleaning bags.
Right. So we can put glaze on that
all
square
right.
now.
She's putting me back to work. Okay. That's
So-
that easy. How long does it take to dry, Les?
It'll dry, well, I did this about an hour and a half ago, and it's dry now.
Wow.
So you can actually walk on the kitchen floor in about 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
But what you want to make sure you do is that you clear coat it with at least 2 coats of high gloss varnish for durability.
Yeah.
And that way it'll be as durable as any hardwood floor.
When you use varnish, though, like it's a 24-hour period between each coat.
Well, for a standard varnish, yes, but you can get a 1-hour varnish, which dries in 2 hours, and you can recoat it in 4 hours. So you can actually do, 2 coats in 1 day. So it really can be all done in 1 weekend.
I'd reach over, but I wore a mini today.
Okay, I'll do it.
And there's going to be things exposed. So it's a morning show.
Well, if you can paint in a dress here, everybody can paint
if you
at
can
home.
paint a dress. Oh, of course, I always paint in a dress. Don't you? Peter does. He
There you
paints
go.
in a dress. Okay.
And
All
so...
While you're doing this, you're going to do that again?
Yep, we just lay it on again in our line pattern.
Leslie,
and smoosh it.
Can I
2
stand
more
up now?
squares?
Can I
You know what you can do for me? You
What's
can
that?
start to take the tape off if you want.
Oh, okay.
And
all
we'll
right,
show
what are we
our
going to do?
bright lines.
I'm going to take the tape off. You're going to keep painting, and we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Now that we've found the fabric that we want to use in our CityLine room, we have to decide what we're going to do with the walls. This particular fabric we decided we're going to use on the sofa bed. So what we want to do is paint the walls in the room to coordinate with it. Now we've decided that the aquamarine color is probably going to be the best color for the background and the wall, the major wall color. So what we're going to do is match this particular color on the computer since it's such a difficult color for us to find. The other colors that we're going to also use is this gold tone here for the ceiling, as well as this burgundy red and this pinstripe of blue as the accent sponge colors on the bottom part of the wall. I'm going to take this fabric over to Joe Gerbasi now and ask him to match that green for me on the color matching computer. The nice thing about the computer is quite often when you're working with difficult colors such as that green and burgundy, is it's usually very difficult to find that particular color in the color chip display. And if you do, it usually takes a long time. So Joe, using the computer, can have it analyze the color of the fabric in a matter of 30 seconds.
I was hoping the computer would just have like a text-to-speech voice and just be like, computing.
We then shake it on the shaker. And
Your
we
sample
open it up to
is
see what we received.
green.
Now, usually what you have to do is do a rub down or a draw down on a card, force dry it so you can actually see the color, and then we can compare it to the sample. And as you've seen, we've got a pretty close match the first time. Boy, it sure is green. But once you look at it with the couch, you can see that our color matches come out pretty good, and it really helps to emphasize the contrast of not just the sofa, but also the woodwork and the furniture. Now, to complete this look, what we want to do is we're going to emphasize the striping effect, and we're going to start to do a sponge painting technique on the bottom part of the wall.
Fuck yeah, it's time for sponge painting!
That's a little bit different from maybe some sponge painting that you're used to seeing, is we're going to create a striping effect, and also we're going to use some spray paint, which most people probably would be quite frightened of. We've taped the wall off, as you can see, so that the areas where the tape is on the wall is going to hide it, so that when we do our spray painting, it will leave those areas green underneath. And then we're going to come back and do sponge painting with 2 colors, red and blue, over top of that right away while everything's still wet. So here we go. With the spray paint, usually you have quite a bit of overspray. And you can see that we just want to randomly place it on the wall, not covering all the areas, but just sort of giving the idea of this gold tone behind it. We're going to use the 3 colors that were predominant in the sofa fabric, the blue,
Oh,
red,
hell
and
yeah.
green.
We're doing RGB sponge painting.
After the other, we're going to want to use a separate sponge for each color. And we're going to start with the red color because it is going to be the most vibrant, and therefore we're going to cover it up as we go with our sponges. Most of you are probably familiar with sponge painting, so we're just going to start with our basic technique of straight up and down dabbing motion to cover generally the whole wall surface area that we're working on. The next step is to just peel off the tape to reveal the background color. See how easy it is? Now we can start with our next color, the blue.
We really like the effect with just the gold and the red, but we're going to add just a bit of blue to soften it. And remember, if you make a mistake, you just paint over it. We're going to just finish up with a little bit of green. And in case you're wondering, we're using latex paint. So if you want to clean up afterwards, you just use a little bit of soap and water. Now we want to just add the finishing touch, which will be a border across the top here. And in order to do that, we need to reposition our tape. We're going to protect our handiwork by covering it up with some paper and tape. You can buy pre-cut stencils or you can cut your own like we've done. First thing you want to do is line up the stencil along your tape line. Holding it flat, just take your spray paint and fill in the blanks. So what do you think? Pretty easy, huh?
Hi, we're ready to start our window treatment part of the room. We're working with the golds mainly to pick up the stenciling that's been done around the room and that's been used in the sponge painting. We've gone with an antique brass because there are limited colors available in the rods and we want the rod to be a focus. We've chosen a blind from Mardell called white gold because it blends in beautifully with the rod that's available as well. Our valance that we're doing is very simple. It's done basically just with Velcro attached to our rod, and we chose a print that we feel really beautifully picks up the sponge painting and the stripe of the fabric on the sofa, and it's lined in the plum as well. So all we're going to do is take a long scarf of our fabric, attach Velcro to it, stick it up on the blind, and it's gorgeous. You'll be really impressed. Now we're going to start our installation on the rod. We've already got the rod in place, and we're going to attach the valance with Velcro. When you buy Velcro, it comes in two pieces. One's the soft side, which we attach to the fabric valance, and then the rough side, which has a peel and stick part, we're going to use to actually attach to the rod. I've cut it into 5 little 1-inch squares, and this is all I need to attach the valance to the rod. I'm going to put these at 5 evenly spaced points starting in the center, and then my valance will be attached to that. Okay, we're ready to hang our valance, and we just get up here on the ladder, and we start with the center just because it's easier to distribute the weight. I find my center piece of Velcro, tag it on. A little bit of pressure will hold it. If it sounds like it's tearing away, that's just because the weight isn't evenly distributed yet. I take my next piece, do the same, reinforce it a bit. You can see it's draping in between. And if I can get a hold of my third one, it goes on the end, there. Okay, we're going to fix this one and then our end one again. Looks kind of nice just like this, but we're not done yet. Okay, we've got Velcro on 2 points on the other end, and this is going to flip up and attach on, flashes the lining, and just gives it a little bit more interest. And we'll do that again in the middle on the other side. Okay, basically all you need after that is just a few simple adjustments. You want both sides to fall relatively the same, but not too structured. You want it to be a casual look. It's very simple to do, easy to take apart, have laundered, put back up again, and it looks gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous.
If you're wondering what all this rough lumber and tools are about, we're actually going to make a 4-poster canopy bed.
That was
for
the
Marilyn.
sponge room.
And we're going to start by doing the
Don't
very
forget,
first thing,
please,
and that is
please
making
don't
a
forget
headboard
that
that's gonna go behind
opposite
the bed,
that
project the bed out
window
into the room
treatment
so that we can
is the
introduce
sponge
center
wall.
lighting into the bed area, and that's going to be really nice. I had the Lansing people cut 5/8-inch particle board for me into the pieces I need for the headboard. And then just using L brackets, we just screw the pieces of wood together. It's pretty easy. You could even do this. The next thing we need to do is take this new headboard and move it into place behind the bed. The reason we're doing this now is so that we can use it to measure the side rails from. And we're actually going to wait, and Mary's going to upholster it later because it's going to match the side panels for the canopy. Now that we've had the wood cut for our side rails and our posts, we want to finish them. There's two ways you can do that. You can paint it. That's going to take a little bit longer, but it will save you some money. Or else you can cover it with fabric like we're going to do. The reason you want to make sure you do this step is so that you're not going to see it when the side panels go up. Now, the easiest way to cover the lumber pieces with fabric is to measure it by wrapping the fabric roughly around the lumber, making a little slit in the fabric, and then rip it. We're going to need about 4 pieces for the posts and 6 pieces for the rails, so make sure you do it all the first time. To attach the fabric to the wood, just lay the wood in the center of your piece, fold up one edge, use your staple gun to attach it, and then fold over your other edge so you have a nice, neat, finished end, and just staple that into place. And just continue down the wood until you have it all completed. Make sure you pull it tight as you go so it has that nice polished look. Now, the staples are going to be visible, but don't worry about that, because when we put this all together, it's going to be on the back side and you'll never see them. Once you have all the pieces of lumber upholstered, the next thing you're going to do is put it together, and it's not as hard as you think. The first step is to take your 4 upright pieces and measure 15 inches from the bottom, mark that spot, and install an L bracket on each post. After the L brackets are installed, then simply attach the side posts to the bottom side rail in the center of your piece of wood. Now you're going to put one on each end, and you're going to build the 2 units like that, so that you have 2 side units. Now after you finish putting that piece on, all you simply want to do is put another L bracket, exactly the same height, facing the opposite direction on each of the posts. And that's going to allow us to attach the front side rail. Now that we have the side rails done on the bottom, we're going to use the side rails on the top to make the bed stable. Now you might think that we did a little backwards. We could have put them on when we were on the floor, but quite often the ceiling is uneven, and in this particular case we want them to go as close to the ceiling as possible. So that's why we're putting them on afterwards. Well, it's all done, and it may not look too fancy, but it's a good solid framework for putting your drapery treatments on, or the side panels. Now, don't worry too much about the staples, or if your carpentry down here in the corners wasn't exactly perfect, because once we get the drapes on, you'll never even notice it.
Now that Leslie has this all built, we're on to the other stage, the fabric part. And what I'm going to do first is upholster this headboard. I put a layer of quilt batting down, and then I'm just going to use a piece of the fabric. I haven't done any finishing to it at all. I'm just going to start stapling it around the whole square box so it covers up everything nice and neat.
The great thing is that now that we got the headboard finished, we can actually attach the bed frame to it to make it sturdier. And then once we get the ceiling on and the side panels, we can attach that to the ceiling so that it's really nice and sturdy and you don't have to worry about it falling over.
Now we're stapling on our roof section. It's just a flat piece of fabric that's going to sort of just cover the whole thing, and then we'll put our curtain on over everything, hide all the staples.
I can't see what's straight on that.
I know.
side.
We're doing okay though. I never make mistakes. Oops! Now that I've got one side done, I'm going to pull it over to the other and keep it nice and straight. But I have to be sure that I keep it square too, because I don't want ripples in this thing when it's all done.
I mean, this is your part of the project.
Yeah. Who's the expert here? Now that we've got the whole ceiling part done, we're going to attach the valance and the side curtains. Everything's going to be held in place with Velcro. We'll have one long strip that goes around the top of this headpiece, and then we'll have 4 short pieces, one at each corner to hold the side curtains. Get ready. Okay, I want to at least put up one curtain. I can't wait to see what this looks like. Okay.
We can do that, right, before we get everything
That's the wonder of Velcro.
Okay.
Ooh, I love it.
She's gonna love it.
See, and then we'll just, oh, this is gonna be great. Okay, now that we've got the back panel in place, we can move the whole bed back. Okay. 1, 2, 3, push!
Together.
We got it.
Great.
Okay, now we're going to put the valance up, and I've got Velcro on the back of this as well. So if you can line that pleat up just at the corner, we may have to sort of play with it a bit, but that's the nice part about Velcro.
Okay, right there?
I think so, and let's just smooth it out. Whoops. I can probably straighten it later.
Wow, this really makes it. Oh.
Okay, and I've made pillow shams as well, and I put a nice sort of decorative braid that picks up all the colors in the print. We'll add some cushions later too, I think. It's time to go find Marilyn, get her to see this. Marilyn! Look what we did.
Oh my God, it's great! It's great!
You love it?
It's great! You can hardly wait. No, I can hardly wait to go to sleep. Of course, I can hardly wait to go to sleep all the time.
This is beautiful. This is, I mean, more than I thought it would be. I mean, it's terrific. What are you doing?
I think she likes it.
I like it. It's not finished yet, though.
We wanted your input on this. We have this side tester, and it's nice and long, but we have 3 possible ways of finishing this.
Okay.
Either we can kind of bunch it up like this, or we can just let it sort of fan out. But you probably suck it up with the vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
And then or else then we can do sort of a bishop sleeve and put a nice fat tassel here, and let it just kind of, and the tassel will be the same color as the trim that's on the pillow shaft.
I like this the best.
Okay, well, I'll order the tassel.
Okay, great, thanks. Oh, it's wonderful, you guys. It really is. Where's the man that goes into this bed then?
We can't help you with that.
You can't make one of those? No, we keep them for ourselves.
How many of you have something wooden at home that you have down in the garage or the basement, and you don't want to throw it out because you think it might look good someday, but you just don't have the energy to paint it? Okay? Okay. Well, you don't necessarily have to paint it, right? You can do some staining with it.
Right.
With paint.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, this had it had a dark sort of mahogany stain on it with varnish on it.
Yes.
So what we did is, the legs are really difficult to strip because they're very intricate. So what we did is we just stripped the top, because that's the easiest part of it to do, so that we could stain in.
TNT Archives.
The legs to match.
Thank you for the raid.
Saved a lot.
Welcome, everybody.
Did you prime the legs and everything?
Right. We put an enamel underbody on, so it stuck to the varnish surface.
And
then
this is
we
a great
put
stream.
An oil-based high gloss on top
We're
of it.
currently watching
use high gloss,
the Best of Home Day.
So this is neat, you know. I mean, it's detailed work and everything.
TV program from Toronto,
giving
us
what were you doing out in the parking lot with a table anyway?
interior decorating tips and projects from 1992.
And it's a lot of fun to do. But the most interesting thing, I think, is just taking a look at what you've done at the top of the table. And I want to know how you do this.
Well, basically what we did was we matched stain in the paint colors that we had chosen.
My data is wrong. It's not from 98.
There's a product called Neutral Blender.
The one that's from 98 is CityLine Creative Entertaining, which we have not watched yet.
To tint it just like they would tint.
This is from 92.
And it becomes translucent so that when you put it on the wood, you can still see the grain through it.
They have a lot of babies in the studio.
Top here, and we've used some really neat
They're
colors
sponge
like
painting.
Blue and green and purple and
absolutely
all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so Leslie,
they got great decor. They got great fashion.
How did you came up with the design on paper first? Is that how you did it?
I always sort of work on a piece of grid paper and sketch out some ideas. And for instance, this was the top of a jewelry box that I just traced around. And I never really measure much, so I just kind of trace around things. And then this is the Letra tape that we've used before on doing floors, where we mask off our design.
Okay, so the tape is still on there. And where do you get this tape?
At an art supply store.
Okay, so it's called
Letra
Line. Okay.
Yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to just stain this area right here. So believe it or not, this is from my flannel nightie.
Oh, well, we know budgets are tight, but really, you don't have to cut up your clothes.
So just a nice piece of cotton fabric, and you just sort of wipe it into the wood.
And you can go over the line a little bit because you got that tape there.
Right, so you just keep wiping it into the wood, and this is really a lot faster than painting. So you just wipe it in any which way direction until you got sort of an even surface.
Yeah, okay.
On it. I need just a little bit more.
This is so easy.
And, well, you can get this, I mean, you can tint this stain in almost, 1,500 colors.
Wow.
So, I mean, really, you can coordinate any piece of furniture color-wise to anything you want. And it really kind of makes an old piece look contemporary and funky.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for.
That's what it really is. It's really funky, isn't it?
Now, just to finish off, I always wipe with the grain of the wood.
Why is
so that it sits in there, and you might get some streaking with this. So this just streaks in the same direction that the grain of the wood is.
Now this is pretty strong smelling stuff, so again, ventilated place.
Well ventilated.
Now, do you do a couple of, you let this dry for how long?
This will have to dry overnight.
Okay.
This area here has been dry for a couple of days, so after it's dry, you can just simply, you can help me do this, Marilyn.
Oh,
just
good.
grab
I like
the
doing
tape
that.
and start
I like
peeling
doing
it
that.
off.
I like doing that. Oh, can I do? Oh, I better not do this one though, because
Yeah.
this one. Okay, can I do this one?
Actually, you can do that one if you want as well.
Oh, okay.
Basically, whenever you do any masking of any kind, take the tape off as soon as you're done, because the solvent in the paint is the natural thinner.
Yeah.
For the glue on the back of the tape or the adhesive, and that's why when people paint their woodwork and they mask it off and they leave the tape on.
Yep.
They have problems getting it off the next day. It's because everybody's gone through that. It's the biggest mess in the world.
But
so
Leslie, though, if I have to do another coat of this, though, I would have to keep some of that tape on.
Exactly, but it's entirely up to you. If you like it that color, you can leave it the way it is. If you're going to do another coat tomorrow with the stain, then take it off.
This is great. This is a great idea.
Anyways, we can just take it off one corner area.
Okay.
And then I'm going to
I'm just going to cut this off.
take very quickly some high gloss varnish.
All right, here,
and we're
let me
going to
do
show you
this
how
for you.
this punches out when you put the varnish on it.
Oh, wow. And you're using a sponge?
Yeah, just a foam applicator brush.
Yeah.
They tend to work the best, I find, with varnishes. Make sure you never shake your varnish or your urethane before you put it on, because
No. Don't shake the varnish or the urethane.
brush it over the surface area.
What would that do if you got air bubbles on?
Well, it's going to get like little pock marks all on the surface area, and then you're going to have to sand it all down and redo it.
Wow.
So
I'm
we
really
can
excited
basically
for
go over
toga
the whole
swag.
surface, except for this one area that we've stained already.
Even though I didn't take all
Oh,
the
and
tape off?
splatter painted stairs? That sounds fun.
Boo-boo there, but I was hoping you wouldn't notice.
Well, of course I will notice. Let me do this. Oh, so what about my nails? It's okay. A little varnish doesn't hurt anybody.
But we just wanted to give you the idea that you can see how the colors look much more muted when they're just dry, but once you put the high gloss varnish on it, it just pops it right out.
It's great. What do you guys think? Audience, yeah? I think it's terrific. You know what? I've also seen some wonderful things that the people have done with stuff like this, like on mirrors, like frames of mirrors, and they go onto the mirror itself.
Exactly.
Now, is that the same kind of paint that you can use?
Yeah, you can use the same type of thing. If you're painting on a mirrored surface, you're going to have to use that wall grip #1 like we've used on tile floors before.
Yes.
For hard, shiny surfaces, and that'll let the paint adhere to it.
Maybe we'll do that on another show.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this going to be difficult to do, first of all?
No, what I really want to show you today is the trick for making the shape right.
Okay.
Okay. 'Cause a lot of times when you do our French doors, you'll see the tight curtains top to bottom.
Yes.
And they're really nice and tight the whole way over. But if you try to pull them, you can't. You don't get a really nice hourglass shape.
Yes.
Because everything's the same length. Or else you make it so that it pulls in here, but then it all droops out here.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you the trick for that.
Okay, all right. Who of you in the audience have French doors?
I think almost
or would
everybody
like
does.
to have? Almost everyone does. They're going, not my house.
No.
One person. So we're glad that we could appeal to so many people on just one show. Okay, let's do that.
I'm going home.
No, you're not. You know what? I love French doors. I just have no place to put them. Okay, so.
Okay, so what we're going to do is take 2 measurements. The first measurement that we'll take is we're going to actually mount the rods first. Then from where the rod is, we'll measure down to the bottom rod. That's our straight center line. But then we're also going to take a second measurement and go from the rod in the shape of what we want the hourglass itself to be.
So you go from here to where?
And down along. So you're going to just follow the shape of the hourglass itself. If you want it really tight, you'll go into the middle. But if it's a wider, expansive glass, maybe you'll come out a little bit more.
Okay.
So actually, you're going to have the line in the middle will be shorter than the side line.
Okay, now listen, if you're confused thus far, don't be, because later on in the show we'll tell you how to get the instructions to this.
Instructions.
She does them, and they're clearly printed out for you.
So what I've got is my fabric, and if you can see here, I folded it in half lengthwise, the length of the window.
Yeah.
And the mark here where I start is the center short line, A, and then the long line is the hourglass one. So it's a little bit of a difference.
Yes, I see, because it's thinner here and then it widens here.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually cut through both folds of fabric along this line. So my fabric will have it'll be straight on the sides, but it'll have a scoop in the middle at the top and at the bottom.
All right.
Okay, so once I've got that done, I will have sewn my side hems, just normal neat seams.
I have to ask you, out of curiosity, this is beautiful material. What is this?
This is moire.
It's lovely.
And it's one of the fabrics that usually you use shears on a door because you have to see both sides.
Yeah.
But this doesn't, it has a wrong side, but it's not a pronounced difference in color. So something like this is nice.
Soft.
It's got more weight to it.
I really like it a lot.
Okay, so what we've got here is a finished curtain. And if you can bear with me 1 second here, I'll just put this up.
And again, what do you think the sewing time for this? It's just the measuring that takes up the most time.
It took me half an hour per panel, but I didn't do my side hems. I cheated. But normally, this is an easy afternoon job or a weekend job. So we're going to put them in place. And what you can see happening when I put these in is that the center is tight, but then I've got all this loose stuff on the sides, just kind of hanging in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take a cuff of fabric, a band that I made, and we can just tie it.
It's just a regular band?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just take a piece of fabric that I folded and finish the edges.
You want to step back so we can see what you're doing here?
And I can just tie that and loop it or put a bow on it or whatever.
Yeah, how did you do that? Oh, that's nice.
It's just really simple, and then the ends would be tied underneath, or rather folded underneath to hide them. Now, I also made a little rosette that's actually just a circle with 2 rows of stitching, and once you gather it all in, it makes a really
How do you know? I know that you know, I don't want to get in.
Okay, it's just about a 12-inch circle, and I put 1 row of stitching close to the center, another row of stitching around the outside, and when I gather it all, it just all kind of scrunches together, and then you pull the top through the bottom like that. And it,
so that's not a separate sewn piece?
No,
that's
it's just a circle.
Excellent.
I did it watching TV. It's just
CityLine, you were doing it when you were watching CityLine. I know you were doing it. So that's great. So really, that's all there is to it. What do you think? Like it? Like it? Good.
Just when you think you've seen all the drapery treatments there are in this world, you've got another one. This one's called the turban valance, right?
Someone else might have another name for it, but that's what I'm calling it.
Okay.
What I did was try to find something a little bit different, and so what I've done is turned it sideways. Normally the rods would be at the top, and even if you're doing 2 rods, you'd have 1 above and 1 below.
Yes.
I turned them sideways, and actually the rods are going to be mounted vertically instead of horizontally.
Okay.
So what we are going to do is actually just measure the top that we'd want. This only works really on a small window. You don't want too wide an expanse.
Okay.
But we would measure tight between, and then we would take a cloth tape and just sort of calculate the amount of drape that we would want.
And the way that you want it. You don't do it tightly, you just let it drape it.
Right, and then measure, what you would do is about 2.5 times the length between the 2 ends of the rod. And so you're going to sort of cut a shape like this. Is that a hexagonal?
Hexagonal? Oh, don't ask me. That's a geometric question. And
I meant to look that up.
Did you? Now, I just want to let you know, as always, I'll have the address for where and
the
how
instructions.
and the instructions on this thing. Okay.
So this one, basically, all we did was sew the top, put pockets in either side for the rods, and then I sewed some decorative trim in the bottom.
Nice.
So I'm going to just fish some rods through either one of these pockets. And this gives us a little bit more tailored look than I normally come in here and show you. It's a little bit more formal or more tailored. If you did a solid fabric, it could be even more contemporary.
Now, I have to ask you, when you talk about the size of the window, what size window do we not want to exceed with a treatment like this?
I wouldn't do more than about a 45-inch window, really.
Is that right?
Yeah, and a lot of newer homes that size, they may have a number of those, but it's not an uncommon size.
All right. Would it, if you have that and maybe like 2 of them or 3 of them, I'm just trying to imagine.
You would do 1 on each window.
1 on each one, okay, all right.
Okay,
all right.
So I'll just hang this up here. So I'm going to snap it in on these rods. These are just little sash rods, and you want about the smallest rod that you can find.
Yeah, okay, did this, I don't think it snapped in.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, and then
like that.
What I'll do is just adjust my gathers, hide the rod.
Yeah.
And what it does is it gives you a gathering through here and a nice little drape on the bottom.
See, that's what's so great about chintz, because it's so crisp, right, Anita?
It doesn't just bag.
That's right. Yeah, you can really do
it. Just to finish it off, these are key tassels, and I know we've talked about using them on armoires and things like that. But I like to use them on window treatments. So what I would do is just tack it on to either corner, just to give it a little bit of detail on the side. And in fact, it brings the balance down. It brings the corner down a little more even with the center.
Okay.
I do want to nod.
But you wouldn't want to put anything up here. You want to leave this pretty plain, right?
I would. You could try one up there. It just depends. I would prefer to see it at the bottom.
Just because of the balancing act that it has to do.
Yeah, because you want your eye to be focused on this.
It looks really great. What are we going to do today?
This is, I always say it's fun, it's easy, but this one I love. I think it's such an interesting treatment.
Okay.
It's just 2 pieces of fabric. This one I've lined in a contrast, but if your fabric was reversible or solid, you wouldn't even have to do that. So it's just 2 strips of fabric.
I've cut. Don't worry, we'll give you the directions
Yes,
and all
it's
that
all
stuff
written
later.
there. And the bottom's cut at an angle.
Okay.
So what I've done is folded it in half with the right sides together, sewn a pocket through here.
So here's the pocket
There's
right
a
through
pocket
here.
through here.
Yep.
And then there's another pocket at the top.
Okay.
Now what I'm using is a 2.5-inch Dauphine rod. This also comes in a 4-inch, so if you want a really high heading, you can use it. It's very smart.
Oh, this is that gathered look that looks so nice.
It looks smart. Okay, so what we're going to do first is gather the wrong side showing.
The wrong side showing.
Flip it. You can see that.
Oh, and then on the opposite end,
yeah,
the more floral side showing. You with me so far, audience? They're going, okay.
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 Okay, so if you can hold this one for me and just keep the
Hold it
fabric
like
from
this?
slipping off the
Oh,
end there.
okay.
I'm going to push, so don't you push away from me, okay? I'll just thread this through.
Okay.
Please work.
This is a
please
mock
work.
smock, isn't it?
A mock, it's a toga swag.
A toga swag, okay.
Now, I'm going to push.
Push, okay, I'm holding.
Okay.
Holding,
Oops,
holding.
I missed.
Now, you know, something like this is not very expensive to do. I mean, if you've got your fabric, it depends on what fabric that you choose. But this sort of, what is this called again?
A Dauphine rod.
Is it expensive to buy?
It's under $10, but it depends on the size that you're using.
Yeah.
Okay, just bear with me here for 1 second. I'm a bit jammed up here.
There we are.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
So then
it
snaps into place, which is part of it.
Oh, you're kidding, that's it?
See?
Oh my gosh.
Just there. So.
Huh?
Okay. And then, because it's lined, we can show our lining.
So you go like this and just do it this way?
Yeah, and you just set it into place. Now, this, I haven't squashed it down enough, but it'll come over, cover the brackets.
Oh, okay, so I'll push it over this way.
Yeah. Now, you can also, when you thread it through the rod, crisscross the center section. So it gives it an even...
Like this, and crisscross it.
Normally, to do this kind of treatment, you buy this separate and you buy this separate, but ours is all one piece, one rod, and it's really
easy
to do.
easy. Mary Dobson is with us with yet another window treatment, and this time using sconces. And I have to say that I've got a built-in valance in my living room and my dining room, and I mean, talking built-in. And it's too bad because I would love to be able to do this, and this is very easy to do, so you tell me.
There's nothing to it. You could actually drop it down below that bulkhead that you have, but the problem is that it squats the window.
Sure.
So it's a shame because this is a very pretty but very decorative thing, so you really want to show it off.
Yeah, this is really classy. This is very
lovely.
classy.
These are from Bartolini and Company, I believe it's.
Yeah, it's Bartolini Designs, and I'll give you the address right now because you'll be interested. 3054 Dundas Street West, and their phone number is 767-4050. This is where these sconces come from.
Okay, great. They're quite heavy. They've got a metal piece in the back to hang them up, and then they have this hole. And you could do a number of things. You could put a wood rod through this if you wanted and gather curtains on, but we're going to actually just gather a scarf and pull it through. What I did is use some of the shearing tape on the back, and I sewed it at a little bit of an angle so that the top will be straight at 2 pieces, sort of going like this. Right. So it's straight at the top, but a drape in the bottom.
Okay, now I just want to, for those of you who are true CityLine viewers, you know what we're talking about with the shearing, but tell me about this again. This is really handy.
It's a flat tape, and you just sew it on 2 sides, and you pull the strings, and it gathers it up nice and neat, and you don't have to worry about it being uneven or anything.
Yes, yeah, it's really handy.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just sort of fish this end through. This is a bit of a tight fit, so I'll have to play with it. If you can just, I don't want to pull that off by mistake. Okay.
This is like, you know, if you are not, if you're not a very good sewer and you can just sew a straight
you don't
seam,
even have to put this tape on if you don't want to, because the fit is rather quite tight, so you don't have to have the tape on. I just like things to be nice and neat. I'm a little bit fanatical.
Yes,
like
you
that.
are. Yeah.
Details. Okay, so I'll just pull this through, and as you can see, once I pull it up at the bottom, it gives us the drape, and I would cut those strings off afterwards.
Yeah.
And this is actually quite pretty even on its own, but what we're going to do is dress it up a little bit. And what I'm going to use are tiebacks. just some nice little, I remember my mother used to have these and I begged her to pitch them because I thought they were so awful. But now they're back. So what we're going to do is just drape them over each of these. We'll bring it over to the side, and you can do as many layers of this as you want, different lengths and everything. And you can tack them in place if you want it for a more secure fit.
Yeah.
And then we'll take some of the cord, and you can do some beautiful things. You can drape it, do sort of bishop sleeves down the sides if you want.
Like you mean in, like pulling it up like this for a bishop sleeve?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
this one we'll just kind of drape it over. And what we'll do is do it at 2 different lengths so that it's going to accent that curve, but not be too structured. Just
it's like decorating a Christmas tree.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, you just don't know where the tinsel's going to go, but it's okay because it's right.
How much garland is enough?
Sure, that's right.
So that's all there is to it. Sure.
Now, first of all, I got to say the material is great, and the other thing, you know, when we always say use color on the show, isn't a red wall? Isn't that something when you have the right window?
Now you know what Leslie says about red walls.
What does that make you do?
It improves your love life.
Does it? Okay, that says everything right there, doesn't it? For a lot of people out there.
My house is now going to be painted red.
It's all red, every place.
Okay, you guys, this is Plan B. This is my new haul, and so far I like it. It's fabric that I've actually put on the walls with liquid starch. It's a little bit messy, but I'm quite pleased with the effect. So I'm going to show you how to do it in 3 easy steps. Step 1 is to trim the salvage, which is the sort of that band that's on the side of the fabric, and to find the match on the wall. Step 2 is painting the liquid starch on the wall. We want a nice thick coat, and a paintbrush is really the best way to get it on. If all goes well, this may be enough to hold it, but if the fabric doesn't want to cooperate with us, we may have to paint the back of the fabric too. But keep your fingers crossed, this, I think, is going to work. We've got to work fairly fast here because we don't want the glue to get too dry. We can always put another coat on later if that does happen though, so don't panic. This looks like it's going to work, so we're on to step 3, putting the fabric on the wall. So we're matching up the print, and as you can see, the glue or the starch is really grabbing onto the fabric. I have to work pretty fast and just smooth it. I can come back later and sort of reline the print if I need to. Wrapping it around the corner. Make sure that you don't get wrinkles in it though, and also make sure when you buy the fabric, you don't let them fold it for you. Insist that it be rolled, because once there's a crease in there, it's never going to come out. It's really going to mar the finish. Pretty neat, eh? It really helps to have a friend who's willing to do this with you. Being careful not to electrocute yourself. There you have it. 3 steps and really only about 3 hours to do. It's a great Friday night and no date job.
We're going to do bolsters.
Bolster cushions.
Okay.
Bolster cushions, people tend to think of them as a tailored sort of plain sausage. I like to do something softer, more gathered. And to do them, it's basically you need a square of fabric. It's deceiving. You don't realize how much fabric is needed to cover one.
Because of the cylinder. Okay, all right.
So you get just a square of fabric, but you have to do something on the ends. And the easiest one is just this long tunnel one. And I put some piping and lacing between.
Yeah.
And then I just add a little extra on the ends to tie it. So I've used just a piece of quilt batting that I rolled up, and we'll just squish this in here.
Okay. Very easy to do.
Very easy.
All right.
And you can be as creative as you want with the trims and things. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just pull that on.
Okay, good.
And then just tie it with some decorative cord. But the one that I really want to show you is a little bit different. It's really kind of a pretty one. It's actually a square, not a square, it's a rectangle of fabric. And you can do this up to 45 inches long. This is a bit short. And it's just 2 pieces of fabric, print on one side, solid on the other, with piping on 3 sides. You don't do it on all 4.
On all 4, all right.
Okay. So you leave this end open to turn it out, but then we just stitch it back up by hand.
I see.
Okay. Then we're going to take a piece of quilt batting, which is shorter and narrower, and just start rolling. Did you ever make a jelly roll?
Oh, kitchen?
Who am I talking to?
Who are you talking to?
Who am I talking
I've seen them
to?
make it on Sesame Street.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
You just keep rolling and see what happens. The foam works its way to the end. That's why you need it shorter.
Oh.
Okay. And then we'll just take little ties
I thought you were going to stick that matting inside, didn't you?
No, this is really neat.
Oh, that's great.
And then you get a really pretty little rosette on the end.
Isn't that great? Do you like this? I like this. I do. That's really good.
And then when I need batting for any other project, I take my pillow apart, use it, and then replace it later.
That is so easy.
There's nothing to it. Now, I used self-covered piping, but I have to tell you, I hate making piping. So if you can get the color that you want already covered, do it.
Okay.
It just takes such little effort to make a cushion like this without all the piping.
So really, the time that you put into this, maybe an hour, half an hour.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
It's an hour for you, okay? Just, I gotta give you the truth here, because it's about an hour for you.
How about this for a garden paradise? It's really easy to create in 10 simple steps, and I'm going to show you just how to do it. Step number 1, you'll need to take 3 measurements so you can determine how much lattice you're going to need. The first measurement is the width of the bed, 54 inches. Second, you'll measure from the floor to the top of the mattress. You'll be hiding the bottom of the lattice behind the top of the mattress. And third, you'll need to measure from the floor all the way up to where you want the top of the canopy. Now, I usually like to make it no less than 7 feet. Step number 2, you'll need to hammer 6 1.5-inch blocks into the wall. This will create the space between the wall and the lattice, so you'll be able to weave your flowers through. This is how I get my nails started. And we got the top. Top. Step number 3, here's the lattice. You'll have to make sure that it fits between one edge of block to the other and also from the bottom to the top. So let's start hammering in. Oops. Great. We're done. Step 4, take 2 simple planter brackets and attach them to the wall on either side of the lattice at the top. Now this is for the canopy. And don't forget to buy plugs and screws that don't need a drill. Step number 5, weave your ivy in from the top down so it's going in a natural fashion. You'll want to fill the center section over the headboard, but remember, you're going to have your drapery canopy up at the top. Then buy flowers with a wire stem in them, and then you can just put them in random fashion. Step number 6 is creating the inside of the canopy. This is the part that's closest to the bed. Now we're going to be using a striped coordinating fabric here. To figure out what you need, you'll measure from the top of the bracket to the floor, double that, add the width of the bed, and then because we want to puddle it on the floor, we'll add 1 foot for each side. Step number 7 is exactly the same as step number 6, but this time we'll use a coordinating floral fabric. It'll go on the outside, facing away from the bed. We're poofing here. There we go. Step number 8 adds the third fabric, the lace. It's just going to actually go in here on the end of this bracket, and it helps to hide all of the raw edges along here and adds a really feminine border. Step number 9, move in that bed. And step number 10, make the bed, and then you can add the accessories. So, what do you think? Our wonderful garden paradise. Isn't it a beauty? We're going to show you how to make this great Art Deco mirror, starting off with a builder's vanity and mirror in 5 easy steps. Our first step is to select the colors. Now I've decided on a strong pastel of turquoise, which is a very Art Deco color. Then we're going to coordinate it with a salmon wall and frame it off with black accents, which is again very characteristic of Art Deco. Our next step is to measure the mirror. In this particular case, the mirror is 36 inches high by 24 inches wide. Now we're ready to buy the lumber. We'll have 3 different types. We have half round, which would be the framing on the pediment, masonite to actually make the pediment with, and window framing for the columns. Now, in this step, we're actually nailing the columns up, which is made out of the window framing, and I'm using silver nails to make it look like Art Deco studs, and we're not going to bother painting them. Now it's time to put the pediment into place. we'll just set it on top of the columns like this and make sure it's even on each side, and we'll start nailing it into place. Okay, nail the half round in for the finishing touches. See how I've lined up the nails? We picked up the wall color with this bath mat, and then the pediment color with these great towels. Now on the vanity top, we've put accessories that are very much in the Art Deco style, and you know, we started it all off with this great Art Deco mirror that we put together for under $100.
Holy shit, sorry.
Want to snazz up your stairs in less than an hour?
I just looked back at the stream.
Stair splattering. What you have to start off with is
Art Deco is just giant triangle.
And once this is dry, remember to put plastic on your walls, then get out your rubber gloves, your paintbrush, and it's fun time. White is the next second coat that's going to go on because it'll add life to the stairs. Now remember, you're going to have to use an oil base, and when you're done this and it's dry...
Oh my god, we're splattering the stairs. Hell yes.
Oh, so messy. And you know, you can have the kids help you in any of their favorite colors.
I'm sorry, I need her flinging white paint at the stairs and going, ah, so messy. I'm just recording this whole segment because it's great.
Under $100. Want to snazz up your stairs in less than an hour? Well, here's a great idea, stair splattering. What you have to start off with is a base coat of black high gloss enamel paint. And once this is dry, remember to put plastic on your walls, then get out your rubber gloves, your paintbrush, and it's fun time. White is the next second coat that's going to go on because it'll add life to the stairs. Now remember, you're going to have to use an oil base, and when you're done this and it's dry, then we're ready for the next colors. Oh, so messy. And you know, you can have the kids help you in any of their favorite colors. And don't worry about the blobs, they work. Now we're just going to drizzle.
Don't worry about how bad it looks. It works.
It should take about 12 hours to dry, but we're not done yet.
Don't worry about the blobs. They mean you no harm.
You got to have a modern house for this. And then there was one. Just be creative. Oh boy.
It looks like a DIY punk venue that's trying too hard.
Once your colors are all dry, you'll want to cover it with 2 coats of clear Varathane. This staircase makeover cost about $100. Now, what a great way to have fun with your family.
What a great way to waste $100 of paint and ruin your staircase.
We hope you enjoyed all these decorating
That
ideas.
was it.
We want to remind you that Home Day is on every Thursday morning on CityLine, which, by the way, can be seen Monday through Friday at 10. We hope you can come down and be a part of the audience. To make audience reservations,
Bring your baby.
Call 591-5757. We hope to see you soon.
CityLine, weekdays at 10 a.m. on City.
I love the early 90s, before area codes were necessary. No one was calling CityLine long distance. Oh, God. That was a real treat, I gotta say. That was fantastic. Whew. All right. Yes. That's it for CityLine. This one was sent in by Green Day. Give it up for Green Day, everybody, for another excellent contribution. And we had 1,000 bits, I believe, from Jess. Yes, for, I don't know, something. Have we decided what that something is? And then do you want to watch the Donut Man sampler? Are we all on board for the train song? I leave it up to Jess. We can do, let's see. Okay, I'm choosing. I'm choosing. Thank you, Jess. I'm gonna play both of these segments. The song that was at the beginning and the song that was at the end, so we can sort out the difference between them. Here we go. If you missed it earlier, please enjoy it now. The BNSF Railroad Anthem. It's a beautiful fucking song.
They both laid rail westward just as fast as they could go.
Yeah, this first one is a minute and a half. I think the one on the credits is longer.
And James Hill through the snow. Each man had a vision.
I gotta make a karaoke track.
They were legends in their day. Now their dreams have come together in the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. From Seattle to Chicago, from the Cascades to Cajon, from the past they call Marias to the one they call Raton. She's got a clear block from the Gulf through Texas to LA. She's the finest line this land has seen. They're Burlington Northern and Santa Fe.
Welcome to the Hill Holiday Founders Award celebration.
If James J. Hill and Cyrus were sitting here today, they'd take a look around, and here is what they'd say. A railroad lives on customers and rock-bound right-of-way, but our dreams live through the people of the Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. From Seattle to Chicago, from the Cascades to Cajon, from the past they call Marias.
This one's almost 3 minutes.
She's got a clear block from the Gulf through Texas to LA. She's the finest line this land has seen. The Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. From Seattle to Chicago, from the Cascades to Cajon, from the past they call Marias to the one they call Raton. Come on and stand up and wave to her and help her on her way. She's the finest line this land has seen. The Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. She's the finest line this land has seen.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
The Burlington Northern and Santa Fe.
I just love so much how this was a corporate merger of two rail lines, so it has an awkward compound name, and the first thing they did was create a stirring musical anthem that highlights that name, and it works so well. Real songwriting talent. Thank you, Jess. for that wonderful treat. A reprise of the BNSF song. It's still so inspiring to me. All right, this is approximately 20 minutes of promotional material for Integrity Music. Rob Evans as the Donut Repairman. Does he have a name? I forget. I know Duncan has a name. Let's see. Oh, I also have not put this one on the website yet. But that's okay. I will once again activate the Barry Manilow tape in its place and then change it in the database once I get the song in there. This is, let me pull it up for you on the real camera, the Donut Repair Club video sampler featuring Rob Evans. Live action fun for eternity. Let's see. So this is promos for 6 individual Donut Man tapes. Live and on stage, kids learn about God's love in this first video concert. That's Donut Man on tour. Then, the Celebration House, the one we saw in Broadcast 1, I think. Children work together and learn the joy of being a good servant. In the best present of all, the Christmas tape, as the Donut Repair Club practices for their Christmas play, they learn about a present that we can give to Jesus. Look at those costumes. Look at Duncan in the hat. Excuse me. We got Donut Man at the zoo. Oh my God. It's Donut Man at the zoo. Donut Man Fun and Donut Man Children learn the importance of Christ's death and resurrection while practicing for a church play. The Easter tape. Songs include Ah, Hallelujah, I'll Give My Heart, Run Peter Run, Shout Hosanna, Silly Joshua, and The Sower. Whew. All right. Raise your hand if you've seen Donut Man. Also raise your hand if you haven't seen Donut Man. We've had a few tapes, but it's been a while. Thank you to Green Day for sending this in. Let's check it out. And I will activate Barry Manilow and fix it later. I gotta get data.
Integrity Music Just for Kids offers a full line of exciting and fun products to take your children on a musical journey of laughing and learning about God and His ways. Just for Kids tapes are a fun-filled combination of favorite praise and worship choruses, best-loved Sunday school songs, and easy-to-learn scripture memory tunes. For each tape, we also offer a split-track accompaniment tape with instruments on the left channel and vocals on the right. These tapes are perfect for Sunday school, children's choirs, and even at home. Featuring all the songs from 5 tapes, our songbooks are great for learning to sing and to play Integrity Music Just for Kids songs. Melody line with accompaniment and easy-to-play arrangements help parents, teachers, and young musicians. Join the Donut Man and the Donut Repair Club kids on video as they travel the country singing the most popular songs from our best-selling tapes. Octavos for children's choirs feature the most popular songs and medleys from our children's tapes. Bright, colorful, and fun to wear, our t-shirts are definitely a hit with the kids.
I'm in God's army.
Integrity Music Just for Kids. Songs that teach, songs that praise, with a Donut Man.
Ooh. God, look at that Duncan background. What is your request, Deb? And also, I think we should maybe liquid hole. Hold on. Let me see if... did it give us a clean plate without the titles of that Duncan background? Yes! Oh my God. All right, hold on. Clean plate. Hell yeah. All right, it is... I'm real quickly gonna liquid hole here. So let me get my video head cleaner tape. Make sure we're on SP speed. How's everybody doing? Liquid hole. This cleaner is isopropanol 67630, organosiloxane NA, and butoxyethyl stearate NA. It's poppers, but it's also liquid hold material. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4 drops in the liquid hole. Deb, can we save the WeSing? Yeah, we can save the WeSing until March. That's the one that was part of Haley's childhood memories. So I don't know if Haley wants to watch that with us. But either way, yeah, we can wait, defer that till March. All right. The cleaner is going. I just released a YouTube video on the Alex Forsyth YouTube channel. Don't watch it right now. You can watch it after the stream. But it's something I've been working on for a long time. And it was a lot of work to make, and I'm proud of it. So it's I did this whole software project to do all this stream stuff, and then I turned it into a product, Big Time Stream Tools, that is still kind of like in development. And then I am what I just released is a 55-minute video with laboriously animated graphics that describes in detail how that system works, like from a software development perspective, but without assuming any. It assumes basic technical competency, like if you're not a software developer at all, hopefully you can follow it. But it's really intended for like people who know about software but don't necessarily. I don't assume that you're like a web developer, so I take the time to explain all the like web-specific technologies, so that by the time we get to like talking about the architecture of this web app, you can kind of hopefully get it. It's all the stuff I wish I had known when I started doing web development a few years ago. Would I be willing to market Big Time? Yes. Yes. I would love to. Yeah, it's the way that would happen right now is if I like sought venture capital funding, which I don't. It sounds like a distasteful process, and I don't know anything about that process. I've really been mostly focused on just making the code and stuff. So unless someone like drops a bunch of money in my lap, oh, yeah, I do want to. So that's the thing. I do want to at some point open it up and let people use it and try for a small fee. I'm just at the point where like I've become uncomfortable with the amount of time that I've spent working on stuff for not any money, and like regardless of what I do with this thing, I need to get a job with a salary. So that's my current focus as of like today. But I really am proud of this thing that I built. I wanted to show it off. I wanted to have like all of this stuff out there and not in my brain. Your support is very much appreciated. Whatever y'all provide for Golden VCR keeps the lights on in the Golden VCR studios, where we have 6 babies. Anyway, let's get back into Donut Man sampler tape. Hopefully it'll be a little better. And yeah, I'll remind you about that cool new YouTube video when we're done with this stream. Oh yeah, Rob Evans. The donut. He's just the donut man. Duh.
Hi, kids. Are you ready to come along with the Donut Repair Club? Duncan and the kids and me, the Donut Man, have been on some exciting adventures, and we want to share some of the highlights with you. It started like this. The Donut Repair Club and I had been singing songs that teach and songs that praise with one another, and we decided that we should go on tour and share our joy about Jesus with other people. And as we're on tour, we learn all of the wonderful and different ways that God loves us. Do you love Jesus? You do? Then come on, join us and jump.
You know this song. Here we go. Jumping up and down.
Oh, okay. This would kind of be interesting to see. This is apparently the first Donut Man tape, which is the recording of his live shows. So it's like what he was doing before he started getting into the VHS production angle. Historical Donut Man material. I'm in God's army. I support Operation Desert Storm.
Jesus is alive. Jesus is alive. Shout Hosanna. Hosanna. Jesus is alive. Jesus is alive.
Jesus is alive. He's right behind you.
Hosanna. Here comes Jesus rising up in glory. Hosanna. Hosanna. Hosanna to the King. He's alive. Let's tell the world his story. Hosanna. Hosanna. Hosanna to the King. Jumping up and down. Jumping up and down. Jumping up and down. Shout Hosanna. Hosanna. Jumping up and down.
Everyone's so excited. I dig this energy.
Jumping up and down.
And honestly, this children's choir, this children's chorus vocal performance is actually pretty solid.
Good job. You may be seated. Thank you. Thank you. That was good. You did a good job. Hillary, James, come on.
Jesus is alive. And in our video, the resurrection celebration,
oh no, the puppets,
we put on a play and sing lots of story songs about the days surrounding Jesus' death and resurrection. Now, let's watch the part where Peter runs to tell everyone the good news.
Run, Peter, run. Run to the grave. Run, Peter, run. The stone was rolled away. Run, Peter, run. What do you see? Jesus is alive. The grave is empty.
That's the same motherfucker that denied him 3 times just 3 days ago.
He's alive. He's alive.
Now he gets to run and tell everybody.
See the empty grave. Run, Peter, run. Go tell your friends. Run, Peter, run. Jesus rose again. Run, Peter, run. Tell the good news. Jesus is alive. I'll shout it for you. He's alive. He's alive. The stone is rolled away. He's alive. He's alive. I see the empty grave. Peter remembered the night that he said, I do not know this man. Now he is forgiven. My Jesus is Lord. And his life can begin again.
Did the home day people decorate that stone curtain? It's really well done. I think I see the subtle sponge texture on there.
Run, Peter, run. The stone is rolled away. Run, Peter, run. What do you see? Jesus is alive. The grave is empty. He's alive. He's alive. The stone is rolled away.
Just like Peter, We all have something to celebrate. It's just that some people don't know it yet. That's why the Donut Repair Club opened the Celebration House. It's a place where hungry or lonely people can come to talk and eat.
Oh, he's purple and lanky.
Before we could open it up, we had to fix it up.
Oh my God, we've seen this one too.
Tried to, I should say.
We've seen half of these Donut Man tapes.
To be a helper when that old restaurant was such a mess. We were pretty discouraged until we acted out.
The Christian cross-dressing. I loved this one.
We learned that the best way to deal with the things that give you trouble and stand in your way is by the power of God.
It's by blowing a shofar and calling on God to slay your enemies.
And put the chairs in a line, and you'll all stand on the chairs and hold this under your chin. It'll look just like a wall. You can't win a battle with the horn. Oh, silly Joshua. You can't win a battle with the horn. Oh, silly Joshua. Don't you know?
Oh my God, it's the same wall.
Has walls over 10 feet thick. Blowing that horn so early in the morn is going to make you sick. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't win a battle with the horn. Oh, silly Joshua. You can't win a battle with the horn. Oh, silly Joshua. Do you really think you can scare us? Ha! Blowing horns till your faces are red. The only thing that's going to fall is the hair from out of your head. Ha ha ha! You can't win a battle with the horn. Oh, silly Joshua.
So if you didn't grow up with this context, the Israelites, after their exodus from Egypt, wandered in the desert for 40 years under Moses. Then they entered the Holy Land and went to Jericho, this city where lots of people lived already. And then Joshua blew this horn a bunch, and the walls came a-tumbling down, and because God had sided with them. Then they ran in and massacred the town. Hooray! And then there were no further territorial conflicts in the Levant ever again. Murdered them all, slit their throats, killed the women and children. They're heathens, it's fine.
That was a song that teaches. Now join us for a song of praise. As we
praise the zebra
for being our maker.
Praise the giraffe.
And for taking such
the puppets again.
Here at the zoo, we also learned that he helps us to take care of one another. So come on, let's praise him.
Your hands.
Clap your hands.
Everybody now.
Everybody now.
Like the trees.
Like the trees.
That praise the Lord.
That praise the Lord.
Lift your voice.
Lift your voice.
With the mighty shout.
With the mighty shout.
Louder than.
Louder than the oceans roar. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
He reminds me of, the tiny child reminds me of the little Patton Oswalt kid from the Learning is Fun song.
That praise the Lord.
That praise the Lord.
Lift your voice.
Lift your voice.
Learning is the key.
With the mighty shout.
Louder than
volcanoes roar. Hallelujah. 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 Shout to the Lord.
Sing to God.
Sing to God.
Everybody.
If you like that, then you've got to visit us at the farm for some real barnyard fun.
His name was Jesus.
But the farmer
he had a halo.
Couldn't work anymore. So the Donut Repair Club had to take over and help with the chores. It was hard at first, but God helped us, and we learned more about Him as we went on.
Oh, God, the pig puppet.
In the story
oh, that's so cursed.
We learned that God wants to plant His word.
The crotch action on that pig puppet.
So that we will grow the fruit of the Spirit. Watch and sing along.
I really hate when they fix the donuts.
The sower went out to sow. To plant some seeds. In hopes that they would grow. Some seed fell on the path. The sower went out to sow in hopes the seed he threw would grow. The sower went out to sow. To plant some seeds. In hopes that they would grow. Some seed fell on the rocks. Some seed fell on the path. The sower went out to sow in hopes the seed he threw would grow.
Is it the one that's his kid? The little girl, you mean?
Went out to sow.
The girl that's sitting right in front of him is his kid. She's in all the tapes.
In hopes that they would grow.
Or maybe
some seed
niece.
Fell on the
I don't know.
Some seed fell on the rocks. Some seed fell on the path. The sower went out to sow in hopes the seed.
Yeah, she's got that sway down pat. Maybe they are. I don't know.
The sower went out to sow. To plant some seeds. In hopes that they would grow. Some seed fell on the good soil. Some seed fell on the weeds. Some seed fell on the rocks. Some seed fell on the path. The sower went out to sow in hopes the seed he threw would grow. Well, the birds ate the seed on the path. And the sun burned the seed on the rocks. The seeds in the weeds were choked, you see. But the seed on the good soil grew and grew. Like the word of God in you.
Let's sway our hands in the air for no reason.
Do you understand about the good soil and the bad soil?
I think so.
Huh? If you plant good seed in good soil, you'll grow good fruit.
Just like God's love through Jesus is put into us. And if we pray and read God's word and obey, we'll have good fruit too, just like the seed.
That's right. And you'll grow the fruit of the Spirit. Listen. Oh, do you have the fruits of the Spirit? If you do, then aren't you glad? Yes, you'll feel very happy, 'cause these fruits will never go bad. Oh,
there has to be a Christian calypso number in every one of these.
his fruit to grow.
Oh yeah, the older girl has real theater kid energy.
You'll be able to show that love takes care of others. Joy means that God makes me glad. Peace is still and quiet. Patience waits and is not sad. Oh, kindness and goodness are nice to others. Faithfulness has faith and hope. Gentleness knows how to listen. Self-control knows how to say no. Oh, these are the fruits of the Spirit. Now tell me, aren't you glad? Yes, you'll feel very happy, 'cause these fruits will never go bad. No, these fruits will never go bad. Oh, these fruits will never go bad. enjoyed these highlights from our full... And since I'm a donut repairman,
changed the key in the middle of that.
I also hope that your heart has been filled up with a gift. And that gift, of course, is the love of Jesus. And that you'll give that gift of love back to Him as we sing from our Christmas video, The Best Present of All. Join with us as we sing, I'll Give My Heart.
Everyone join in. You know this one, right?
Whose is that star we've seen in the east? Bethlehem town, you're not the least. Who sings that song of love and of light? Angels and heaven's host fill up the night.
Glory to God in the highest, peace on the earth and goodwill to men.
Oh boy, I don't know if we've heard Duncan's singing voice before. That's quite a choice. When are we going to hear Loafer's singing voice? The horrible bread monstrosity. Oh yeah, he I think became a Catholic at some point. Yeah, he converted to Catholicism in 2006. Got to, what broadcast is this? Ooh, I can find out with this cool command. 157. Oh, sweet. All right, real quick, I gotta update the database. Update broadcasts.screening, set tape ID equal to, what is it? 817, where ID equals this. Just running some SQL. All right, and now, hell yeah. All right, we did it. Just in the nick of time. That was not Barry Manilow, but in fact, it was. Hold on. The Donut Repair Club. The bagel repairman is Jewish. I love it. That was the sampler. So those were some tape. There were 3 Donut Man tapes we've seen and 3 that we have not. I don't know. Maybe they had differing views on eschatology. Who knows? Okay, folks, that was the Donut Man Repair Club video sampler. Let's see. What do we got? Where's the tape? It's in the VCR. Thank you to Green Day for sending this one in as well. Boy, this has been a really fun stream. Thanks, everybody, for being here today on this Saturday. We had a real great mix of quality tapes. We had the Return of the Ancient Spirits with Perry Stone Jr. We really bookended it with 2 ends of the religious VHS spectrum. Crazy evangelical doomsday prophecies and Donut Man. We also had... We discovered a great new song and enjoyed this beautiful piece of ephemera. Oh my god, Leica wins bingo. Amazing. And CityLine Home Day decorating tips. What a fantastic stream. I've had a great time here, folks. I hope you have as well. Go, if you're interested in how software works on the web, which I think is, this stuff surrounds us in our lives, in our society. Everything's a goddamn web app now. So hopefully you'll learn something from my cool new YouTube video. It's at youtube.com/AlexForsyth. Give that a look if you want. If you watch it, post a comment and let me know where I lost you along the 55-minute journey, if anywhere. I want it to be comprehensible to a wide audience, so I've tried with all the fun graphics and stuff. And that's it for today. I'll see y'all next time, which may, I think, be Wednesday, because I need to do some other stuff on Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Monday. But I will keep you posted in the Discord, and for sure we will have a Monday or Wednesday stream. One of the two. So, take it easy, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Green Day. Thanks, everybody, for your wonderful tapes, your wonderful participation, and I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.